I'm not mad at you, man. I'm mad at a white racist system. I'm not mad at white folks. I'm mad at a white racist system. But I know I better not talk nasty to white folks. I know I better not cut my eyes at one of them, but I can do anything I want to do to you. This is why our hostility rate. And see, any way you cut it, your agenda may be holy. And let me tell you, what we black folks is trying to prove, that is a holy agenda. But hatred will burn up your hope. And a system that you make like is better than it is, a system that you try to go along with just so you can pay your rent, makes you so hateful. And if you just look, especially black men, look at the looks on their faces. Most of them walk down the street with some old evil look on their face 24 hours a day. They're mad at me. They will kill me, not because they're mad at me. They're mad at a system. I'm not.
First, I want to say peace to my mother. She's not here, but I got to give a peace out to her because I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for my mother. And I looked on the front of this thing and it says start from within to rebuild our original greatness, right? Okay, well, that's what my mother did. You know what I'm saying? And I'm listening about freedom fighters and strugglers. Well, you got to understand that when it was in to have a gun and to be in the street, my mother gave that up to be in the house and wash the dishes, you know what I'm saying, and feed us and put the thoughts in our brains, you know what I'm saying? Because we didn't get any of that history from all of those soldiers that we lost. We got none of that. They all went to jail, if you can remember. They all went to penitentiaries. We didn't see none of that knowledge. If it was not for my mother who stayed home and didn't go out and do all that, then I wouldn't have had shit, excuse my language, but I wouldn't have been nowhere. So what I want to do, hopefully, is I want to be I want to be. I am Tupac Shakur. I have to be a reminder that we can't chill out. No, it ain't time to cool out and banquets and all that. It's still on. It's on just like it was on when you was young, and you want to say fuck that, just like you said fuck that back then. So how come now that I'm 20 years old and ready to start some shit up, everybody telling me to calm down? You know, don't curse, go to school, go to college. Well, fuck that. You know, we had colleges for a while now. You know what I'm saying? And it's still Brenda's out there, and niggas is still trapped. You know what I'm saying? And it gets me irked. because I understand that it's not going to stop. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to stop until we stop it. That's right. And it's not just white men that's doing this to Brenda. No. And it's not just white men that's keeping us trapped. Right. It's black. Right. You know what I'm saying? We have to find the new African in everybody, in all of us. Because if we keep running around looking for black and who got the most colors on and who got the baddest dashiki on, we still gonna get, excuse my language, fucked. Right. Because it irks me that my mother right now is going through, you know, she has to get clean. This is somebody who I watched travel the whole country, you know what I'm saying? During a time when women were scared to speak up for the Black Panthers. She spoke at Harvard, Yale, everywhere. And now I see my mother as what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see no big parades around my mother now. And she done got a dozen fucking awards. And I don't see nobody there. You understand what I'm saying? So about all this, I take that lightly. I take all this lightly. What I want you to take seriously is what we have to do for the youth. Right. Because we're coming up in a totally different world. Right. This is not the same world that you had. This is not the 60s. This is not that. We grew up, BC, before crack. That should say it all. Right. You understand what I'm saying? We did not grow up without parents. You had parents that told you this and that, and this is what went on back in the day. Now you don't have that. Right. You have young kids, 14, coming home, their mama is smoking out or doing it to their best friend to get the product. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So that means that it's not just about you taking care of your child, it's about you taking care of these children. Right. Because that's what's out here. It's a gang of children. You understand what I'm saying? And it hurts. It hurts that I gotta, it bothers me, not hurts. It bothers me that I have to sidestep my youth to stand up and do some shit that somebody else supposed to be doing. Right. You understand what I'm saying? There's too many men out here for me to be doing it. Because it ain't my turn yet. I'm supposed to be following behind him getting the knowledge. I don't even got a chance to get the fucking knowledge. I can't go to college. There's too much problems out here. I don't got the money. Nobody do. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is it's not as easy as we mapping it out to be. And we got to stay real. We got to stay real. Before we could be new African, we got to be black first. Right. You understand? We got to get our brothers from the street like Harriet Tubman did. Why can't we look at that and see exactly what she was doing? Like Malcolm did. The real Malcolm. Before the Nation of Islam. You got to remember this was a pimp. You know what I'm saying? The pusher and all that. We forgot about all of that. And our strive to be enlightened, we forgot about all our brothers in the street, right. About all our dope dealers, our pushers and our pimps, and that's who's teaching the new generation. That's right. Because y'all not doing it. I'm sorry. But it's the pimps and the pushers who's teaching us. So if you got a problem with how we was raised, it's because they was the only ones who could do it. They the only ones who did it. While everybody else wanted to go to college and, everything has changed. They was the ones that was telling you the white man ain't shit. Here you go. Check this out, young blood. You take this product, you switch it, you make money, and that's how you beat the white man. You get money, you get the hell up out of here. Nobody else did that. So I don't want to hear shit about nobody telling me who I can't love and respect until you start doing what they did. You understand what I'm saying? To me, this is Mecca. You know what I'm saying? This is the black family. I see it here. But what makes it even that much more sad, and what makes me want to cry, is because as soon as I leave here, so does Mecca. You understand what I'm saying? We're going back to the real deal. Right out there, you're going to see them same sisters and Brenda. They right out there. And y'all going to get in y'all cars and drive the fuck home. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I apologize. I apologize. But check this out. You can't be no more offended by my curses than what's really going on. That's real. That's real, y'all. That's real. Y'all got to really be true to that. You got to be true to that. Because we letting the media and the white man cut us off. You letting them tell you that the rappers ain't real, and you got to either be, the intelligent person or you're a gutter person. We all the same. We all feel it like y'all feel it. I just can't hold a straight face when I see it. Right. This is proof that we can be together. The young black male is the future of us. And the young black sister is the future of us. It's going to be what you put into it. So if you don't put shit into it, don't get mad when you blow up.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. What's going on? I know this is probably a bad time to go in, but I was, I just got home and I had to, I felt like doing this, so I'm gonna come on here because I, been thinking about something, and I kind of want to talk to y'all about something. And I really need to be working on the next Black History thing. So I'm gonna still try to be on time, but I'm gonna try to have it for Sunday night, you know what I'm saying? So y'all bear with me. But I ain't feel like working on it right now. So I came on here to do this, you know what I'm saying? And it's something important that I think we need to talk about. And I know that y'all would probably agree with this topic more than me, right? But y'all have to realize that y'all have y'all bias just like I have my bias. I'll admit it, but y'all don't want to admit that y'all have y'all bias. You know what I'm saying? But and before I do that though, you know what I'm saying? I still gotta be me. I still gotta show y'all. I'm still gonna show y'all. Matter of fact, before I do anything, let me show this.
The only thing I was trying to do is help. You guys could have been long down the road, probably 15, 20 minutes ago down the road, if you would have just said, here's my ID, and been done, right? It would have solved so much. But you guys have...
No, he's going back and forth.
It adds.
Moving forward.
It's not all cops are bad. Right, I've been very. It's okay.
No, you've been nothing like. And I had a herniated disc. I mean, I kind of just.
Let me go check it real quick, Brandon. All right. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. I want to have you turn around for a minute. All right. Turn. No.
Hey, I'm
Brandon.
not going in cuffs.
Hold on. Brandon, we're not doing this. Brandon. Listen to me.
Hey,
Brandon.
I'm not.
We're done.
I'm not going in cuffs.
Hey, Brendan.
We're done.
Stop.
No.
Brandon.
No.
Stop. Brandon.
What?
Stop.
Stop.
If you don't stop, I'm adding charges to you.
Charged with resistance.
You're going to get extra charges.
Stop.
All right, Brandon, we're done. We're done.
Get your hand. Stop. Go left. Stop resisting.
Brandon, Christine, stay out of the car.
Do it.
Christine, stay out of the
What are you doing? What are you
Christine, stay out of the car.
doing? Me. We had bear spray.
Christine, please step backwards.
Stop. Stop.
Please hit.
Please let
Stop.
me go,
It's just a
please.
Christine, please step back.
I'm begging
Yes.
you.
Stop.
Christine,
Stop.
listen to me.
Please, I'm
I need you to
begging
stop. Please back up for me.
I'm begging you.
Back up for me.
Please, I'm begging you.
Stop.
Don't do
Christine.
this. We're gonna die.
No, you're not.
We
Christine,
are gonna die.
I need
They're
you to back.
trying to kill us. They tried to kill us in there.
Ducoin X.
Please don't. Please.
Ducoin X83. Send additional.
Please don't.
You're gonna have to bear spray me. Stop. Stop.
Christine, get out of that car. Christine, deal with her. Christine, back up.
I was in the military. You're gonna have to shoot me. I'm not fucking going.
And they damn sure ain't shoot him.
Stop, dude. Hey,
Get him.
ow! On the ground.
Change the
Hey, go back.
Christine, get back.
Go cuff him. Go cuff.
Shoot me in the head.
Christine, get back.
Stop, dude.
Oh, he's got a gun. He's got a gun. Gun. Ducoin X83. Shots fired. Shots fired. Suspect. Officer shot. Officer shot.
Shots fired.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Go. Go back. Go back.
Oh man.
Get back. Get back behind my car.
Damn, I guess that's what happened when you don't comply for real, right? Man, I was supposed to show that before I said anything, so I ain't gonna say nothing on that one. But anyway, before I talk about what I want to talk about, right? I want to show you one more thing. I seen my brother MG2 put me onto this. It was disgusting, but it was like, kind of funny, but it was just disgusting, man. This is the mentality of who I know, mine. Let's watch this, man.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. It's time for some crazy news. Let's begin in Tennessee, where a tantalizing tow is not safe in a hotel with a manager who has an eye for some alluring-ass feet. Police say this guy, David Neal, the hotel manager at the Hilton, could not control himself when he saw those toes check in. Police believe he made a copy of the guest key card and then slid into the room while the man was asleep. It was his chance to have unlimited pleasure with the guest's damn toes.
That's
while
disgusting.
The guy was asleep, the manager, nasty.
Yo, what's going on, Raw? Thanks for coming through. I'm about to talk about the real topic in a minute, but I seen this on MG2 channel. I was like, what the hell? This is the guy here, you know what I'm saying? And if you notice, right, he did it to a dude on top of that, right? That's disgusting. This is the mentality, bro. You might be right. They might come from somewhere else, because what the hell?
Copy of the guest key card and then slid into the room while the man was asleep. It was his chance to have unlimited pleasure with the guest's damn toes. While the guy was asleep, the manager, nasty as Neil, began sucking on the man's toes. Neil's excuse was he only went into the room because he smelled smoke. I think he smelled those damn toes, and he had a burning desire he could not extinguish until he had those digits in his mouth. Okay, I just made my own damn self sick. We're in our last days. Let's pray on it. And, of course, Neil was charged. Also, Trent.
All right. So, yeah, that's disgusting, man. What the hell is wrong with these fools? But these are the people who I had to demonstrate first, because I got to do what I got to do. Yo, what's going on, Bakari? And I know y'all was going, like I said, this is not even the topic. All right, so now I'm about to talk about what I came here to talk about. All right. Listen, man, and y'all going to probably agree with me a lot more than I agree with me on this one, because y'all have a bias, right? Y'all also would say, oh, we are our own worst enemy. I think that is a bad thing to say. I'm not going to say ignorant, because I'm not going to act like I have the right role or whatever, but in my opinion, I think that is not the right thing to say. Yeah, that's what I was like disgusted, Rod. That's what I'm disgusted by the actions that we take. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that a lot of people will be like, "Oh, we our own worst enemy," and all of this stuff. But we understand that once we really start doing something, right, more times than not, right, it is other black people, right, who can easily infiltrate your stuff or who will snitch on you or sell you out in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? And we definitely have to talk about it, the role of the black informant. And I personally think like this, if we're doing what we're supposed to do, like no informant can even hurt us. Like, what are they gonna do? Add money to it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll tell them what we're doing, right? Because when we're doing what we're supposed to do, they can't stop it. You know what I'm saying? It's up to them to give up what we want. You know what I'm saying? So I personally don't worry about this. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely had a conversation with my brother, and it is true. You know what I'm saying? Because I would say that not in a way that y'all would think, because I understand about telling people the certain things and putting business out there and um who could be compromised, you know what I'm saying, around me, you know what I'm saying? But and that's around any of us, not just me, but what they don't understand is because they think a black messiah is a black person, right? It's not no person, right? Because if something happens to any leader, that energy is still here and is going to go into the next person, right? And we had also had a conversation about black leaders and us um raising up the next people. You know what I'm saying? Like to come behind us. So if something happens, your movement don't just die with the person, right? But there is a lot of ego that is within our community, and it makes it easy for us to be infiltrated, to be like. So we definitely have to talk about like agents, the real agents that really come, or informants that come amongst us, and how easily we will sell ourselves out. Looking at these Black history lessons, right? Gabriel Prosper. It was two slaves trying to protect their master. Whether they wanted the brother to get killed or not, they still told on him. A lot of people have been telling, right? And this has been one of the biggest things that has kept up. But I think if we was doing black leadership right, it wouldn't have a big as effect as it does. You know what I'm saying? I think so. But that's my opinion. But this infiltrated mentality, you know what I'm saying? Because Raw, they may not be from this planet, but as much as we try to be like them, we are outside of ourselves and we're not operating right. And one of the biggest things that has always held us back was like allowing people in. And I also wonder how, right, these agents and informants can get so high a position. Yeah, concentrated on money and material things, and we think that making it is using their dollars, which don't mean nothing, right? That and you are giving up your actual resources for pieces of paper on them, with dead people on them who would have lynched us, right? Just for having this conversation, right? And so quickly, a black man or a black woman will sell out for $1 or for what they think is quote unquote protection. But it's like we was talking about last time, like spooked out and punked out. All of this kind of goes along with all of it. You know what I'm saying? So some people think, well, I would say even like if there was the biggest weakness, and like I said, I don't have a problem putting it out there because I don't think that you know, maybe I may be wrong, but I don't think that is because I understand that it's still this whole system for me, you know what I'm saying? But I am not as hard on black people as I am on other people. But the mentality is anybody who's against our goals of achieving what we have to achieve, which is creating our own stuff and control, practicing real what they call racism, right? Where you control your own land, your own destiny, make sure your people is good first, and doing business where you have something to leverage, using that resources that we have. Because if you notice, right, every time I went somewhere where, especially when you travel, it's usually the nicest places is where black people are, because like the sun and the temperature is just where dark skinned people are. So the nicest places is usually where dark skinned people are. But I noticed that they're usually the poorest. but that's only based off a European construct of what is money. Even when we have these conversations about capitalism and all that, that's based off what Europeans do. You know what I'm saying? Because I know if I take my time to grow a field of corn, it's my field of corn, and I can trade you your tomatoes. You know what I'm saying? 3 joints of corn for a tomato. You know what I'm saying? That's something different. But even with all of that, right, it's still a mentality where we would rather be more comfortable in somebody else's system, which we will never achieve, than to give up, than to do what we have to do. And then it leaves us vulnerable because there will be a black person there who's going to tell, you know what I'm saying? Now, my problem is if you like, let's get black people first. I know, you know what I'm saying? The most I would agree with you is like at the same time, right? While we're going at it, if a black person get in the way, then so be it. You know what I'm saying? But for us to continue to go after, I think we're practicing the same thing. But anyway, let me just get to it. I'm gonna show you some of these things, you know what I'm saying? I guess this is just before we start talking about the next Black History lesson. So I'm gonna play it. And you know what? I'll put the link in because I know y'all gonna have a lot to say about infiltrators. But if y'all on some like you know, funny style stuff, like you maybe you can come on, but you know, I'm not gonna be like easy on you, and you're going to be an example of an infiltrator that you have to recognize who this person is. And you know what I'm saying? Like, are black people, because I still disagree with this, but are black people the biggest prohibitor from us maintaining our goals? And the people who infiltrate us that look like us, right, for other people's sake, right? So let me go ahead with this, right? Because it's a lot more I could say, and I'll say it as we go along. But check this out, right? So the first FBI agent and first black first, and this is an African American here because he's an African that's been Americanized. The first African American FBI agent on record. You know what I'm saying? And this is doing well. You know, we'll get to that.
All right. So I wanted to ask you first about the history. James Wormley Jones. What can you tell us about him?
Well, I can tell you a lot about Jones. Jones is an individual who is very distinguished. He was distinguished before he became an FBI agent. He actually didn't become an FBI agent until he was 35 years old. The FBI had not formed then, so this was the precursor organization to the FBI. But Jones attended Virginia Union University in Richmond.
Wait, hold on. I gotta stop right there, right? Because you know that even though I make fun of Bakari with that, you know, I be just messing with Bakari about HBCUs. This dude here, you know, I still rep Virginia Union, and this is a Virginia Union product, so which means dude was probably, you know, feet away from where I am right now, like, but like probably like 80, 90, 100 years ago or something like that. We could ask for the worst part of the planet and would be denied because them know that we have the power. Is yo, that's to make it flourish. That's 100% correct. You know what I'm saying? But and you already know, or like what has to be done to them because we do ask for stuff. Like we be like, yo, sir, please, you can have the money and stuff. I just like to get a plate of food if you may, sir. You know. But like black people come from the nicest places, right? Where probably the most resources are. The weather is always nice. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been to the Bahamas, but I see how poor and destitute the people are there. And even still, it is people that is in certain positions that sell out their own people. Of course, they're in that position. But what I don't understand is why. You know what I'm saying? You have a short-term gratification, but usually they get taken care of in a negative way. What I mean taken care of, but taken out. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all gonna one day, I hopefully that black people as a whole will learn that Europeans don't stick to their treaties. They don't even stick to their treaties with each other. And these places have the poorest population, even though they have the most resources, the nicest areas, is because of stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this brother is from Virginia Union. You know why? Because he couldn't go to VCU, Virginia Commonwealth, even if it didn't exist. They wouldn't have allowed him to go there. So he went to Virginia Union to learn how to be an FBI agent. To guess who they needed him to infiltrate.
Organization to the FBI. But Jones attended Virginia Union University in Richmond. Then he joined the Washington Metropolitan Police Department as a foot patrolman, moved through the ranks to horseman.
And then, you know, they told him, you better not arrest now white person. Don't even go in the white areas, but you better not say now word to no white boy. And the police was like, oh, yes, sir. As long as I get to be a cop. You know what I'm saying? That goes along with being a part of their system, too. You know what I'm saying? And all of this stuff goes back to what we was talking about. Spooked out or punked out. And Raw, I think you had the right answer. Punked out.
To motorcycleman and then to detective. He resigned from the Metropolitan Police Department and he joined the military, the segregated army as it was referred to at that time in history. He became a captain in a relatively short period of time, learning explosives and a number of other things, but he led a charge, a particular charge, in the northeast corner of France during World War I, where he and his troops rousted the Germans out of a stronghold that they'd had held for 4 years.
All right, that's enough, right? Because this is the first agent. So, and let me show you the history of this, you know what I'm saying? And y'all are Garvey Ice, but this is about the FBI informants, you know what I'm saying?
Attorney. He was really unknown at that time, but must have been known enough. Department attorney. Justice Department. He called it the General Intelligence Division. And he picked a young Justice Department attorney. He was really unknown at that time, but must have been known enough for his diligence. And his name was J. Edgar Hoover. Garvey really gets pinpointed.
Look at that faggot right there. You know why I say that? Because if you got a problem, I dare you to say something about that. Me saying he's a faggot, right? Because if that, you know, I dare you to say something about that. But look at this one.
Hoover, the Justice Department, were clearly hooked on a fixation on Garvey, which would before long become a vendetta.
J. Edgar Hoover wrote to a colleague, Garvey is a notorious Negro agitator, affectionately referred to by his own race as the Negro Moses.
And see, don't think they ain't spooked out. That's why they talking about the Black Messiah and all of that stuff, because they believe that, and it is true, right? There's an energy, right? J. Edgar Hoover. There's an energy, right, that's out there where if a certain Black person will take the reins, I know we got spooked out after what they did to a lot of Black leaders, but yo, man, and it's not just like shootings and all of this stuff. It's the health in our communities, our mothers and, you know what I'm saying, our aunts and stuff like this having diabetes and dying in their 50s and their 60s. That's not supposed to happen, right? The health problems, the weight problems. We should be pissed off about that. Having to go to work every single day to barely make enough, and then they raise up the price on everything so you can't afford nothing, you know what I'm saying, and make you work just to, and they still taking the taxes, right? Then they issue you other taxes on the taxes, just on the stuff that you already paid, right? So like you paying taxes on the stuff you didn't pay taxes on. They say it's for your schools, but your schools is trash, right? And even when we talk about reparations, we don't even talk about somehow we could get out of the system. How can we incorporate ourselves more into the system? You know what I'm saying? That's a collective almost agent mentality right there, because and they're not, that's why they're not going to fund it, because even though Black people is not on the same mindset of creating their own, which will by proxy just destroy their stuff, right? You don't even have to be like, I want to destroy their stuff. All you have to be like, I want my own stuff. And that is considered a danger to them, right? Which is why they opened this organization to Black people in the first place, right? And this was a part of his goal. So if we talking about how can we fix the water issue, that'll probably do more damage than if I say let's grab the guns and all, because they know black people ain't gonna do that because they're scared of the police, the military, and all of that. But if we start making changes like, oh well, we're putting connections together where we can fix water in the states, now is a problem, right? Because you got to pay them for water, right? You have to pay them for air. How much is y'all air bill? L bill, you know what I'm saying? Air bill. But anyway, let me go back. Let me keep playing this song with Marcus Garvey, right? And J. Edgar Hoover, the faggot dude.
The Negro Moses.
Oh yeah, Bakari. I'm sorry. I can't even. You black, ain't it? I forgot. I can't even say that, can I? All right.
Hoover's agents were in the audience at Carnegie Hall when Garvey bragged that the UNIA would soon be strong enough to exact its own form of justice.
When those crackers lynch a Negro below the Mason-Dixon line, since it is not safe to lynch a white man in any part of America, we shall press the button and lynch him in Africa.
We're gonna lynch his ass in Mississippi.
Reported that Garvey's address was met with great applause and much excitement. J. Edgar.
Hey, Bakari, you know how they be like, Mississippi is Egypt. So we could say that we can lynch him in Mississippi, so to make Marcus Garvey words come true. So
Hoover had long relied on casual informants, but now, in his determination to go after Garvey, Hoover hired the first full-time black agent.
All right, so yeah, this is the part that we need to pay attention to, though. You know what I'm saying? So in his efforts, right, of course, no Negro could be in the FBI because you use the damn N-word, right? And his goal is to stop the rise of N-words, not to put him in certain positions. But when he realized that he needed somebody, right, to infiltrate black people, he said, let's make FBI agents and black FBI agents because they can easily infiltrate them. At first, we just use snitches, right? Because I'm gonna tell you, there will always be snitches. I don't know the mathematics behind it, but for some reason, everybody has their snitches, right? But and see, this is where they like the Italian mob, right? Because they be like, yo, the Italians had something to do with the mob had something to do with JFK. And you know what? They silenced the dude on national TV who was snitching, right? The dude who got arrested for him, right? They silenced him on national TV, right? And when they have infiltrators, they infiltrate the FBI. You know how they be like, the KKK has infiltrated the police? That's not true, because it's almost, I would say the police infiltrated the KKK, but it sounds wrong. You know what I'm saying? If they was the KKK and they became the police, right? So I can't say infiltrated because it's not the opposite, but whatever. You know, y'all would get it. But the point is, right, when every other group has somebody infiltrate a system, they do it for their own people. Like that's how they're able to fix elections and have corrupt police, is they put their children into these organizations to infiltrate the organizations instead of the organizations infiltrating them with their own people. So they sent them in there to do that. You know what I'm saying? And the problem is, right, that's the difference. It's like, it's almost like you go into the FBI as a black person to see what the FBI is doing, so to let black leaders or black people know what the FBI is doing, right? So we can stay a step ahead instead of letting them know what we are doing. See, other groups like the mob, they use that connection for their own protection, and they rarely snitch on each other. You know what I'm saying? They snitch on each other, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? But a mentality of not snitching on each other has to come first.
In his determination to go after Garvey, Hoover hired the first full-time black agent in the Bureau's history.
He was known by a code number. All his reports were signed 800. That was his code. And his job was to go into Harlem and to infiltrate the Garvey movement to try and find.
Look at them. None of them had a gun. They say you better not put a hand on white folk. Why would you even sign up for that deal? Why would you want to be a police if you can't even do that? I don't understand that mentality. But they probably hated black people because they could only patrol black neighborhoods. They could only arrest black people. So that would show me that it's some sign of self-hatred almost. You know what I'm saying?
Evidence that could be used to build a legal case for ultimately getting rid of Garvey.
The idea comes to Garvey that black people need a shipping line. And he bases his idea on the fact that the Cunard family.
All right, so y'all know about this. I'm not trying to skip it because of that, but I'm taking too long, right? So I want to get to the FBI stuff. All right, so y'all know about Marcus Garvey better than I do, though. So
going liners, black folk paying, say, for first-class accommodation, often eating. So
passengers. Garvey envisioned commercial trade among black communities around the world, with produce, raw materials, and manufactured goods transported on UNIA vessels.
The Black Star Line was in some ways Garvey's empire, and it represented the ability of black people to seize the day.
Slept.
My parents spent a small fortune.
I forgot where it was, man.
Let our steamship sail the high sea.
That Garvey planned to rename the Frederick Douglass. Right. The Yarmouth went only as far as the 23rd Street Pier. Workers descended on the docks to shower the Yarmouth with fruits and flowers.
No ship. At about 9:30, my brother put me on his back and we were on the way home. But the ship never actually came.
People would come down to the docks waiting for these ships.
All right, I forgot where it was, so I'm gonna move on. But so this is where the first FBI agent, they couldn't even say they was police. J. Edgar Hoover hated them. He wanted to stop the rise of the Negro, right? But it's still a Negro that was down to be a part of that. So and that was just the first one, right? And let me play what this sister here was saying. Shouts out to this sister right here, you know what I'm saying? I don't really know who she is, but shouts out to her because she was going in on this one.
About the FBI's infamous COINTELPRO program. It was initiated by J. Edgar Hoover so that he could monitor, infiltrate, misdirect, and neutralize the Black Power and civil rights movements. In light of the revelation that the FBI is keeping track of alleged Black identity extremists, I want to discuss an aspect of COINTELPRO, the ghetto informant.
Yeah, she said, Ross said, they think it's a come up and it's safe. And then they get excommunicated. I'm going to show what happens to them, Raw. You know I'm going to show what happens to them. But I don't understand that mentality, though, because, like, your kids is not safe. Hell, you not safe. I forgot a video, and maybe I'll pull it up, but where the black dude who looked like an African brother, but they arrested him, but he was an FBI agent undercover, and they didn't give a damn, and they treated him just like any other Negro, right? Or N-word. But I'm going to let this sister talk about the FBI Ghetto Informant Program, which came after all of the things we're going to kind of talk about.
That the FBI is keeping track of alleged Black identity extremists, I want to discuss an aspect of COINTELPRO, the Ghetto Informant Program. It kicked off in 1967 and had 7,402 informants by the time the program closed in September of 1972. It called for an individual who lives or works in a ghetto area and has access to information regarding the racial situation and racial activities in his area, which he furnishes to the Bureau on a confidential basis. This program was relatively easy for the FBI to implement for a key reason: the hood itself. Areas like Chicago, Los Angeles, Detroit, and New York were high priority, but at least 8 other cities were included. Area barbershops in all their glory were safe havens from women, but not from the FBI. Through stalking and wiretapping, listening posts were established to keep an ear to the hood and tell what was going on, making leaders and organizations easier to exploit and manipulate. At least 67 of these informants belonged to the Black Panther Party. Another key component were Black bookstores, and informants were instructed to identify the owners, operators, and clientele of such stores. Black bookstores were important because they often carry books that you couldn't find anywhere else. The program was terminated in 1973 with a disapproving comment from the Senate Intelligence Committee.
Now, do y'all think that program was discontinued in the 70s, or I don't know.
From the Senate Intelligence Committee. Actions were taken which were designed to break up marriages, terminate funding or employment, and encourage gang warfare between violent rival groups. Due process of law forbids the use
to encourage, because y'all laugh like, yo, Bakari the only one that took me serious. I know Raw took me serious back then when I was talking about Chicago before all the pandemic in like 2019, when they was like, yo, it was not black people shooting each other, right? It was usually white people doing drive-bys, and then they blame it on other black people. And then like y'all don't even take 2 and 2 together. Like they can find every step that black dude did, Jussie Smollett in Chicago. They knew he was at the subway. They followed him every step of the way, but they can't find none of these 100 and some killers, right, over a weekend, but they can't find none of them. It don't make no damn sense. And we've listened to the same narrative, so we so quick to take they side and listen to everything that they talk about that we will make ourselves agents unwillingly and not even getting paid. You're just being a damn agent because you're on here doing the Sambo shuffle. And even the people who call themselves pro-black, right? Even the people who be like, yo, I'm black, well, they denied even stuff like that because they don't think that's above their enemy. These people like loose a dog on an 11 a.m. Sunday service on churchgoers who wasn't even a part of things in the 60s, right? They was going to church and the police let dogs loose inside the church during 11 a.m. service. But you believe them before you believe your own people, and you still sell out to try to be a part of them. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't think that is a problem as much as y'all think is a problem, because they cannot stop us. And that's why, like, I understand they can. I will tell you what we're doing, right? And maybe you can put money in it. How about that? Right? All they can do to infiltrate is that put money in it. And Raw, guess what? That nobody probably might not come on this show right here because they might be, you know, a part of this FBI ghetto informant program. So people gonna stay away from this one because I'm gonna make them stick to the topic on this informant stuff here, because this seems to be a big concern in our communities here. And what the hell do we be thinking? Because what do you get out of it? Somebody tell me. Anyway. And like, yo, and that even goes for people like Chief Justice, what's his name, Clarence Thomas, how they just threw him under the bus. Because would y'all consider him? He's not an informant, but he's damn sure a part of that against the black community thing. But anyway, this is about informants and FBI and CIA agents who think they are part of America. And this is why I don't say thank you for your service, because you ain't serving me. Right? You was in somebody else's military, not mine's. Right? You served somebody else's country. So I can't say thank you for your service. You know what I'm saying? Bring back the information that you got from them and teach me something, and I thank you for that particular service. But I can't say that kind of stuff because you're serving somebody else's interests in everything that we do. Even our arguments serve somebody else because we further indoctrinating ourselves when we talk about capitalism, because we think about European stuff. Right? Even when we talk about ADOS and all of that, yeah, black people have had this conversation amongst ourselves, but I really don't ever get involved in that. And I wish other people didn't get involved in those conversations, because I don't think the way that it is today that's on the internet comes from us. That's always been a part of what they do, bro. And I think that any kind of instigation within that, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that there's people that is wrong on both sides, you know what I'm saying? And I think both sides is biased, right? But I think feeding into that at all is just pushing somebody else's narrative. You're being unknowing agents. You're a ghetto informant without being paid. But I'm sorry.
Actions were taken which were designed to break up marriages, terminate funding or employment, and encourage gang warfare between violent rival groups. Due process of law forbids the use of such covert tactics, whether the victims are innocent, law-abiding citizens, or members of groups suspected of involvement in violence. On August 3, 2017, 9 days after the murderous white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, an internal government memo circulated that revealed the black community is still under surveillance. Not that we didn't know that. The memo read, "The FBI FBI assesses it is very likely Black identity extremist perceptions of police brutality against African Americans spurred an increase in premeditated, retaliatory, lethal violence against law enforcement and will very likely serve as justification for such violence. Really? Basically, any.
Yeah, I'm sorry, sister, but yeah, really, you know, because they call it Black identity extremists and stuff like this, right? But like I said, if it take us being murdered for us to be pissed off, that's already too far. I'm talking about the whole system that is created. You know what I'm saying? The financial situation that we are in as a collective, right? The things you got to do to get out of that system. You know what I'm saying? Which is like sell your like butthole or whatever to get out of that system. Yo, what's going on, Odin? Right? Of course, they're watching the communities and stuff like that, but yo, it shouldn't take us being murdered to you know what I'm saying, be mad, right? It's the poor health situation, the education situation, right? The things that we have to do, right? I'm even talking about your jobs, your schools, you know what I'm saying? The amount of taxes they pay, the inflation they put on, the everything. We should be mad about all of that. And I'll tell them that myself. So I ain't gotta worry about y'all snitching on me about that. All right. Well, yeah, what's going on, my brother Oni? So let me show y'all some people from back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna have a hard time finding the people of today. But they are around us all, you know what I'm saying? And maybe y'all love some of them people too, by the way, and not knowing it. But some people will do anything for money, right? Some people will do things because of self-hatred. But there are in jealousy of each other, which makes no sense. And people talk about that that metaphor with the crabs in the bucket, you know what I'm saying? How they'll pull each other down. But you know what? Maybe we can determine like we got claws, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we don't have to climb. Maybe there's other ways to it, you know what I'm saying? But there will always be that element in the community. And it is true, right? So
Well, I say it is frightening, and it should be frightened to the entire American people that he has demanded $10 billion. And if he doesn't get it, then there may be riots
it's First Rifleman Moms right here.
this summer. Martin Luther King is nothing but a blackmailer, and he should be arrested for blackmailing because he certainly has blackmailed the United States government.
There's one thing that bothers me, and that as a Negro yourself, why do you talk so bitterly against Martin Luther King and a lot of these other people of your race?
By the way, because this is one I kind of knew that people wasn't going to touch, because I'm not going to be easy on you this one, because this is about the black people that would not. I'm not as hard on the coon as y'all still to this day, but I don't know, because y'all not that hard on the coon when I think about it, when I sit back and watch it. Y'all not that hard on them, actually. Y'all love them. But because I say this, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to hold you accountable for your coon energy, your sellout energy on this one. You can hold me accountable for mine too, by the way. It's all good. But a lot of people is not going to deal with this one, even though y'all give me a hard time about not talking about black people. But then we have to look at your damn self. See, that's the part that we don't want to talk about. The part where you got to look at your damn self and your own energy that feeds into it, even though it may not be unknowingly, even though it may be unknowingly, I mean. But
These other people of your race.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't put my race before I do my country. Being a Negro woman.
Let me play that one more time, because that is the sentiment of a lot of you people here.
I don't put my race before I do my country. Being a Negro woman doesn't matter to me who is a Negro or who is a white person. If they are enemies of our country, then they are certainly my enemies too.
Yo, you hear that, Raw? You heard 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 that, Ra this is what a lot of people sound like, and a lot of people that you love. That's why I don't talk about it as much, because this pass that we give, it has to be the same energy, because you gonna get infiltrated too. I like, you could say I get infiltrated, but you know what? They ain't go, even if the agents come in, all they gonna be doing is contributing money, right? Because what are you gonna do, right? Because I understand this, right? I see how that goes on. See, and right now I might be a nobody, all right? They'll blacklist my channel, and then that's it. That's all they have to do. But the more that we go on, right, that once I earn my stripes, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they may or may not do that to me. But like, yo, so what? What are you gonna do? Like, because they could just pull you over and just smoke you anyway, right? So you might as well go out doing something for yourself or for your people or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But why are you gonna, like, that is not going to work. You know what I'm saying? If somebody infiltrates, what, they're going to contribute to the water issue? You know what I'm saying? Because it's not, it doesn't work that way. And right now I understand, or they're going to contribute to schools that we need to, I'll tell you right now, we need to build black schools for black children and educate them. Now, they ain't got nothing to go inform on, right? What they going to inform on how to do that? Well, first I got to get black people to support, because right now all they have to do is block my channel. But until I reach the people's minds, and this is a way easier way than what they used to have to do. So I give all the credit in the world to my ancestors who fought for me to be able to do this, and I haven't had a firebomb through my house yet. Yo, what's going on, Bobby? Yo, bro. And I'm like, yo, so what are you going to do besides contribute? We need the schools to build for our children. So we're going to start working on building our schools. We're going to work on, or you're going to tell them the name of my organization. Maybe you'll come up to the event then, because it's black people right now that is not supporting it, because this is the unknown agents, right? Because we're going to give the unknown agents a pass. Is that what we got to? Because now we got to discuss what we're going to do with the people who act as agents and they don't know. Yo, and my brother Bobby, yo, there's a whole context to this, you know what I'm saying? Because we gotta discuss the people in our communities who do these kind of things, because I don't understand the mindset and where it comes from. You know what I'm saying? And so I was showing a couple of things. I showed the first black agent, and you know what it had to do with the Marcus Garvey and the ghetto informant program, which we have to, you know what I'm saying, deal with. But it's just this mentality. So, and this is what a lot of people be sounding like, that even a lot of them, like, I know my brother Bobby and Raw is on point, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know what a lot of us as a collective, because a lot of us that love people like this sound like this, and we don't think, because when you're doing the minstrel shows, you're being an unknowing agent. So what do we do with the unknowing agents? You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't put my race before I do my country. Uh, Being a Negro woman doesn't matter to me who is a Negro or who is a white person. If they are enemies of our country, then they are certainly my enemies too.
So let me play this brother right here, man.
As Malcolm X said, by any means necessary.
At this point, I question the whole purpose of.
See, once you have a freaking army, now you a danger. If you have a YouTube channel, you on some shyster kike bitch's channel, right? Where she can block me at any time that she want to and take my channel down. I can make another channel, but so what? You know what I'm saying? Once we start putting in the real work, see, now black people is not showing up for the work because they are unknowingly agents, right? Unknowing agents that we let off the hook, right? Because they are unknowing. And this is why I be like, I'm not as hard on it, because I know that people that I love are unknowing agents and be saying some cool stuff. And I'm not willing to take certain actions on them, but I'm also not going to tell them the secrets that I have within my organization. But I'm also going to tell them when I'm doing something, so they tell them, send people out here to spend their damn money. You know what I'm saying? it's you use what you like. When I talk about being followed around the store or something like that, right? You know what? I'm trying to get what I gotta get and get out of there. So I'll be like, I ask them, where is the stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you gonna follow me? Matter of fact, where is the mall? What I'm looking for? You know what I'm saying? You tell me. Now, again, like we will snitch on each other in the smallest instances for our job as a security officer making $15 an hour. And we snitch on each other for this job because I don't want to get fired at this point in time, which is different from Marcus Garvey's time. You know what I'm saying? And this is an adjustment that must be made because now there is a new way and life of doing things, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a new way of communication. The world is different. We think we are an illusion of inclusion as Black people. Yo, we are sick in the head right now, way sicker than we used to be, because even back then the coons couldn't deny the situation. But now our coons can deny, even the people who we think that is not coons can deny the situation, and we can be against each other so easily these days, right? And we can sell each other out for pieces of paper of people who would have killed us and lynched us for this conversation. You pull out a dollar, you pull out any amount of money, a dollar bill, and the person on there would have had you lynched just for you listening to me. And I probably would have been lynched a long time ago. They would have put my head on the highway here in Richmond, you know what I'm saying, for an example. And we would kill each other and sell each other out and tell on each other for these things. I had to get on a person of color, which is a Hispanic boy, who is snitch all the time. Dude is this damn snitch. And you don't talk to me when you a snitch, you know what I'm saying? And this is just on some job stuff. It's stuff that's irrelevant because I don't give a damn about that job. You know what I'm saying? This is another reason why I'm mad, but my bad, man, because I'm going on a rant. So let me play this informant, you know what I'm saying, here. Because we are alarmed about this, you know what I'm saying? I told you, Raw, they're not going to touch this one, Raw.
Of the Black Panther Party. In my thinking, they were necessary. It was a shock treatment for white America to see black men running around with guns, just like black men and saw white men running around with guns. Yeah, that was a shock treatment. It was good in that extent, but it got a lot of black people hurt.
Now that's a damn lie. You think it's more black people that got hurt today with no repercussions than when black men went around making sure that more young black men wasn't getting lynched because some bitch lied, or the town say they lied because they was mad about their economic business. You know what I'm saying? You read Ida B. Wells. They was mad because they had their businesses which was competing, and usually it was the ones who had their stores in the black community, right? The allies, you know what I'm saying, that be in the black community selling their nonsense, that got mad that black people had their own stores because it was the competition and it was about economics. And they used the threat of rape and all of that stuff as a lie, which they already knew they was lying, but the white bitches was down with it. The whole society was down with it. So when we sit here and talk about this stuff, you know what I'm saying, we have to have the whole context of it, right? And he's sitting there telling you, because black men have had the gun since, well, there was black men who fought back with guns, all because we've been talking about that the whole time during the Black History thing, and I haven't even reached 1865 and their so-called 13th Amendment and all of that stuff, right? But since we want to act like we citizens of a country we not, but anyway, black men had guns all the way from, it was 1868, black people shooting back, right? After every war, generally, black people came back with guns and trained and was shooting back. The 1920s, you know what I'm saying? When they be like Red Summer, that was because, you know what was the red part was? Black people shooting back. That's what made it a Red Summer. Because all of their violence had been going on. But when black people shot back, that's when they called it red. That's the difference between a riot and a massacre. All the race riots was because black people fought back. The rest of them was massacres. But anyway, so this dude already starting off. And that's what a lot of black people have, the same mindset. You know what I'm saying? That's how it'd be easy for them to be sucked into some BS and believe that and go against their own community.
Treatment was good in that extent, but it got a lot of black people hurt. My recruitment by the FBI was very efficient. Very simple, really. I'd stolen a car and went joyriding over the state limit. And they had a potential case against me. And I was looking for an opportunity to work it off. And
listen, this is a catch-22 that has to be addressed in our communities, the hood, right? We gonna throw away our hoods all the time, right? Young black men with no hope, no economic relief, and a lot of people do resort to crime that grow up in certain neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? And this is not everybody in the hood, because most people in the hood don't commit crimes. They have regular jobs. Go to the hood and see for yourself. Because I think black people are more scared of black people in the hood than anybody else. Because the Asian go in the hood and open the store. Arab will go in the hood and open the store. Black people will be like, "Oh Lord, I ain't going in the hood. Them people gonna rob me." You ain't even got nothing. But anyway, this is a thing that we have to address, because a lot of informants be like, "Yo, I don't want to go to jail. They have committed a crime and stuff like this." You know what I'm saying? And we don't have nothing in our community that can stop them from getting into that mindset and what they call crimes. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, most times, is really to feed their family. But a lot of people will get, you know what I'm saying, will accept deals because they go against their rules, and they make the rules against you and your yourself, you know what I'm saying, and the communities you live in, they created and all of that stuff. And you can say whatever reason why, but they create all these communities and then use the young black men who get caught up in BS. And then there are a lot of people, once they commit crimes, that will drop dime on you, that will snitch on you, maybe even your best friend. And that's something that you also have to recognize, you know what I'm saying, who you have around you if you're doing something, because there are a lot that'll drop dime because they don't want to go to jail. And there are a lot of more that will become informants, especially if there needs to be a case for that.
a couple of months later, that opportunity came when FBI agent Roy Mitchell asked me to go down to the local office of the Black Panther Party and try to gain membership. We tried to develop negative information to discredit him, just like we did everybody else. We, meaning the FBI, I tried to come up with signs of him.
We sick, boss?
Doing drugs or something, and never could. He was clean. He was dedicated. I've had private conversations with him. We got along pretty well.
2 weeks later, a gun battle on Chicago's South Side further escalated tensions. A former Panther and 2 policemen were killed. The deaths provoked
the weapons caches. He wanted to know if we had explosives. He needed to know who was staying at what locations.
All right, so listen, right? Because we are scared to talk about arming ourselves and guns and stuff like this. You say you are an American citizen, and part of America is the Second Amendment right? So if we're going to talk about you're an American, then take if anything that you want to take from a European, how about you take the self-defense part? Because America spends more money on self-defense than anybody. So if you're going to be American on any part, then be American on the self-defense part, right? So if they want to know if we have weapons to defend ourselves, I'm on here telling you that to go ahead and arm yourself. You know what I'm saying? You should. Ida B. Wells, matter of fact, not me. Ida B. Wells said the shotgun has a special place in every home for a black person. And maybe we can update our technology, you know what I'm saying? But the shotgun has a special place in every black home. Right, so you don't need an informant for me to tell you this. And also, other things can be used as self-defense weapons. Anything around the house, you know what I'm saying? If you're in any kind of situation, but just make sure to prepare for self-defense. So they want to know that, right? But what they know is we aren't doing that, right? But once we do, it is what it is.
He needed to know who was staying at what locations, who spent the night where. His information didn't change so much as he requested more detail. And I knew why. The shootout on the South Side had pretty much laid the foundation within the party, within the...
All right, so we're getting ahead of ourselves here. So let me talk about this, because like I said, lately I've been like in the project that I'm working on, I'm in 1965, right? And this is when Malcolm X gets shot, you know what I'm saying? And one thing about it, the FBI had a black man so close that they gave Malcolm X mouth-to-mouth resuscitation when he got shot, right? And the brother got in trouble because he did that. It said why they flood the community with guns, because they know most don't know who their enemies are. You hear that all the time. Cockers always be bad. Yeah, they do that for us to kill each other. There wouldn't be no guns imported into your community if people was on the right mindset. There would be a asserted effort to make sure the guns are taken from the community, right? That's why they would make sure that anybody who's telling you certain things. But like I said, it's no reason for you to be scared because it's the energy. Even if they take you out, that energy is going to be there. So they're wasting their time. But a lot of black men, black people are scared to hold certain positions. And the only reason why I don't give I think black men need to be more assertive and be black men and you know what I'm saying? But I look up to people like Ida B. Wells who did the same thing in a time, you know what I'm saying, where there were a lot of black men and black women who subservient and would look down, but she fought back. So all of us have to be on the front lines, even if you could just poison. My bad, but anyway, this brother here with Malcolm X, because I've been looking at a lot of what happened to Malcolm X, right? And this is the question, right? And a lot of black people will say, well, who killed Malcolm X? It was a black person. And I also don't agree with this talking point because what the implications and where it comes from and who it most benefits when you say stuff like this, you know what I'm saying? And when our young children hear stuff like this, it makes you not want to be a part of some black revolutionary kind of stuff because you be like, why? Why do it for black? Well, I'd be like, why not? You're done anyway. All the things that we should be mad about. And this is all the reason why they build these programs and have these intelligent things. And then we argue the points that they create for us to argue. But anyway, this is about the black informant and the dude, Eugene Roberts, who was Malcolm X bodyguard, but was an undercover cop.
File of a colored. They had Elijah Muhammad under. No, then. No, he didn't. I'm talking about wiretaps. I'm talking about room bugs. I'm talking about infiltrators. You were an undercover agent for the police. He didn't know then. No, he didn't. And you got in close, very close. He trusted you. I would say yes. Gene Roberts got so close.
Now, how does this happen, though? Right? How did what do they say? Like, they have to be like, just, I guess they're so accommodating, but that would be a red flag. I don't know, like, because I guess any of us could be quote unquote agents. Not that it would matter, because like I said, what are you doing? Contributing to the movement, your agent? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, they get close to these leaders and then they expose them, but they always get close. So like, what is it with black people's judgment and stuff like this? You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm speaking in ignorance because I guess it could be like easy for that to happen, but they just always seem to be in top positions. But it also goes to the jealousy and hatred or the crab in the bucket mentality that you would easily inform on somebody else for nothing, even for free, because we want a better, more comfortable position in a society, you know what I'm saying, that's not meant for us. And we will sell each other out so easily for that. And it's crazy.
That he became Malcolm X's bodyguard, even though he was really an undercover cop in the New York City Police Department. Your job was to gather intelligence, to gather information. Yes. And the Bureau's mission was to keep tabs on potentially violent people? Yes. Why was Malcolm X considered a potentially violent, if not in fact violent person?
Well, I guess at that point in time, society wasn't ready for Malcolm X. He was saying a lot of things that society didn't want to hear at that point in time. The week before he was killed, there was a meeting at the Audubon. And I saw what I thought, and I still think, was a dress rehearsal for Malcolm's impending assassination. I called the department, seen no one there. I became very upset. And I went as I walked to the back of the room.
Yo, let me stop for a second, right? Yo, Raw, Bobby, listen, they like to troll my shows all the time, right? And people like to come on here, but Raw, what do you think? Like, they scared to touch this one. They be on me all the time about talking about other black people and how bad black people are. You know what I'm saying? They may be the informant. I don't know. I'm just playing, but I don't know what you think, Raw, because they're not gonna touch this one for some reason. I'm finally talking about black people, but nobody gonna touch this one. It's funny, right? Because we're not gonna get off subject, and if you come on here, you're subject to what I say to you. All right.
I asked, I said, what is this? And they said, this is his request.
And to be fair, you can try to challenge me and say the same about me. I'll give you that opportunity. But okay.
He told us not to put nobody on the door. I said, don't give me that. Don't give me that. I said, somebody in here is playing games and a commotion.
See, this is the difference, right, with Malcolm X, right? Malcolm X did not help from everybody, right? I personally think, even if it's true, like somebody like Bumpy Johnson offered this protection, but he didn't want to be affiliated because it looked a certain kind of way. Like, listen, man, it is what it is. I would go to the people that I personally trust. I wouldn't take the police protection either. But I would go to somebody who I trust. Maybe he didn't trust them. I don't know. That whole conversation, that's something I didn't even think about. But what I'm saying is, like, yeah, it's okay to like pat them down and stuff like that. I don't know, like why he allowed it to be so easy for it to happen. You know what I'm saying? And as the next generation, if you hope to achieve something, you have to first of all expect that this could happen and plan for it. And that goes with and the plan even goes with, even if they get you, right, you have a way for that to continue. I'm saying, like, because you only proving me right? If they try to take me out, you only prove me right. And I would want y'all to be like, number one, continue with the mission, but like, yo, y'all already know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna say forgive no goddamn body, right? So the first part of that is having somebody there to continue the mission and training the next person and getting your ego out of the situation. You know what I'm saying? But the second part is also understanding, and there may be new tactics that I don't know about that they've been developing. Yeah, I know, Raw. I know they may be themselves, Raw, but there are new techniques that they're probably developing that I don't know about, but they still use the same tried and true techniques, which is easy to do, right? But I don't think that those certain techniques will work on, you know what I'm saying? Well, I would say for me, I don't think they will work on me or a lot of the new generation, but I think a lot of us don't study history of or the tactics that they generally use, you know what I'm saying? But that's just me, so.
Don't give me that. I said, somebody in here is playing games. And a commotion started. Two individuals near the front got up and one went back and run out.
All right, so basically, right, now this brother here, right, so once he got home, he called his bosses, who was the FBI, which they had that boss program or whatever, but basically a bunch of snitches. And he let them know what happened. And now this dude was an FBI informant and gave Malcolm X mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. So they had an informant giving Malcolm X mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Now, I don't know how much of an insult that y'all would take that as, or how mad y'all would be at that. You know what I'm saying? That's like, yo, it's sick to me, right? But they got on him because he did that. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, why are you acting like security? He was like, well, I didn't want to see him get shot and killed, but you don't even realize who you're working for. They scolded him because he's in that picture. Now that connects them to it. So he got in trouble for that. You know what I'm saying? But this brother here, and okay, so this is how they use it. All right. Okay. I'm glad to stay right here. So let me go up here first. I think this is it. No. All right. Here it is. So, right. This same brother was used to infiltrate the Black Panthers, right? Eugene Roberts, or Gene Roberts, who was Malcolm X security, right? Who was used to infiltrate Malcolm X. And they told him, right, you're not going to get no promotions. You're not going to do any of that stuff. They sat there and told him, right, all you're going to do, boy, N-word, is give us the information. I don't want to hear nothing else. We're not going to put you in the CIA, FBI, because we don't accept you N-words, but you're going to give us information against this other Black man who's trying to help you. And he said, okay, that sounds like a great idea. We're not going to give you no more. We may give you like $20 or something. And a lot of Black people say, oh, well, that sounds like a great idea. So, all right. So Roberts so where is he now, right? Roberts was assigned detective duties in the Bronx. So he just ended up being a regular cop once integration happened and stuff like this. He just became a regular cop. By then, he had developed an alcohol problem. I wonder why. Maybe that conscience was eating him alive. Understand this, young children. Once you inform, you ain't getting nothing no different. The same people who ratted out Gabriel Prosser, they got like $50, which wasn't enough to buy their own freedom, while the slave owner got $500, right? And they was probably slaves for the rest of their life, and their lives never changed. And Gabriel Prosser could have made their lives change. And here this dude is, after it, he developed the alcohol problem. That conscience was probably tearing him up. So this is what the young people, I can't save none of the people who are older, you know what I'm saying, who are my age, or even the people who are, hell, I say that we're done right now. The children tomorrow have an opportunity if we start right now. But all these times I've said it, we haven't started. But listen to what happens to them. You know what I'm saying? There are some of us who started, but some of us who don't. Yo, the white boy always use us against us, but we always be a part of it. What the hell? Why? Why is that? Like, we lose more by doing that than actually helping them. Right? We still aren't these citizens that we fight for to this day. And the people who do it, they are telling them up front. They told this dude, Gene Roberts, when he was working with Malcolm X, well, you could never be a cop because you're an N-word. You could never be this. You could never be that. We can't treat you the same. We're never going to do this. We're never going to do that. But he still did the same thing. And listen, he developed an alcohol problem, which cost him his marriage. The department failed Roberts because once the Negro became no longer useful, they just threw him out there. They gave him medals, right? They gave us this symbolism. So he was given a medal, right? They probably had a banquet for him, but he was never promoted. They probably gave him a couple $100, not enough to change his life. Understand that. They're just like a job. They're not going to give you enough to where you can't go back. They're only going to give you enough to where you got to, just like almost like a junkie, you know what I'm saying, where, or somebody gives somebody, front somebody just to get them hooked on drugs. They'll give them a little bit of money, but not enough to change their life where they stop doing it, but where they come dependent on it and give them what they want. In the meantime, even that money, they're just giving it right back to the same system that put them in the same place where they have to snitch on somebody, where somebody is just trying to stand up. Now, this is Malcolm X, who wasn't talking about drugs, who wasn't well, he talked about getting the guns and defending them. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, with black leadership, this is another thing, what I was talking about, the spooked out or punked out thing. And we follow the people. Listen, the illusion of acceptance from whites and some trinkets, dollar bills, or pieces of paper of stuff that people would have killed us. All right, yeah, he was given medals, but was never promoted. And when his alcoholism, I wonder why he became an alcoholic, right? He ended up getting a divorce. Roberts died alone in Virginia in 2008. How about that? So this is what I want the young people to understand, right? Because that conscience is smarter than you. Like when they be like the angry black man, the angry black woman, I played that at the beginning. See, your conscience know better, right? You're sad because that you're mad and all that. Your emotions know better. You try to suppress your emotions, but they know better. They're not supposed to dictate what you do, but they supposed to be there to inform you, to help you, and you can also use them for energy. But they let you know when something is wrong. When you're mad about something, it's because something violates your God rights. Since you want to be spooked out, it violates your God rights, and you know that the higher self, right? We're gonna be spooked out here, knows that it violates yourself. And that's why you're mad. That's why you have that emotion. Your emotion is probably smarter than you. You understand? And he don't know why he have this alcoholism problem because you a damn snitch, right? And not only that, you helped be responsible. He may not want to see Malcolm X get murdered. You know what I'm saying? And he got in trouble because he didn't want to do that. But at the same time, your actions still do that. And what do you get? Not a promotion, right? They told you that from the beginning. Not a promotion. We give you a couple dollars. They'll give you $100. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, N-word self and your wife can go buy some crack in their minds. And you might as well be doing that. You might as well. Or in his case, some alcohol. Yeah, he got the medals. He got to go to a banquet or two. But he died alone in 2008, bro. Because why would you do that? Why? What do you get out of it? Right? You don't even get recognition that we act like we want from white people. He didn't even get that. Because they have to keep themselves clean of the snitches and to make it look like it's you in the worst just shooting and killing each other. But for the FBI to have a person giving Malcolm X mouth to mouth after he got shot, I would kind of hold that indictment against us because I can't do that 100%. It's an indictment against them. See, this is where y'all agree with that because y'all be like, yeah, it's an indictment against us. And if I say it's an indictment against them, then y'all be like, oh Lord, we better not say that now. We just gonna get in trouble. Massa, he said it was an indictment against all of us, and then we right back in the same situation. So I don't know, but at the same time, man, this brother sat here and he died alone. They told him he wasn't going to get a promotion. And he still was in a position. And we trust a lot of people that will infiltrate us, you know what I'm saying? So you have to understand that if you're doing something for black people, that you could possibly get infiltrated. And you're probably going to get infiltrated. You know what I'm saying? You're probably going to get infiltrated. I'm starting to think a lot of y'all infiltrating. Yo, Raw, you right. You know what I'm saying? Either they don't have no balls or they're not going to be able to do it. And you're right, my brother Bobby. You know what I'm saying? Even though, like what I told you, you know what I'm saying? I'm working on it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I still understand it's a system, right? But we still have to let these people know, like, what are you doing it for? I still don't understand it myself. And this conscience probably tore him up and he became an alcoholic because not only did he do that to, and okay, so he has, I'm gonna show something that is they try to connect Tupac to Malcolm X because the dude went on to infiltrate the Black Panther Party and a bunch of other black organizations who the FBI feared. And now they do it in different ways. they really don't have to infiltrate us, because we'll get on the internet and debate with each other all day long about FBA and ADOS. And that's them. I'm telling you, like, I can't prove it, but I am telling you, that's not our talking points right now. We debated that. I've seen Black people throughout history have this conversation about whether we should go back to Africa, but the way that we do it today, and I know people on both sides want to put it on both sides, but when you participate it, you're nothing but a participant, and by proxy, agent, even though you're unknowing. And I asked y'all before, do we let the unknowing agents off the hook too? Because, like, yo, who, because they're still agents, it's still the same detriment, but you like, yo, they don't know about it, so do we let them off the hook? And a lot of y'all probably unknowing agents. That's why y'all not coming on here. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm not hard on the coons. It's hard on the coons, and I get it, right? But I'm also understanding the process that they go by. And a lot of people that probably come on here, because they definitely listen to this channel, and don't listen to the numbers that you see in the chat and the people that they see in the chat, because it be lying. I'm telling you, it be lying. I've seen stuff where I said 0, and I have at least two devices where I'm watching it. And I have people that message me all the time like, yo, I've been looking for your videos for so long, I thought you stopped doing it. But YouTube just unsubscribed them from my channel, right? And I wonder for a long time why they stopped blocking my channel. They used to block my channel all the time, but they stopped blocking my channel. But I know that they are just sitting here listening if they can get any information off about what we're doing. And that's why I tell anybody who come on here, they're probably listening. But, you know, I do not care. You know what I'm saying? But this is what we have to understand. This never ended. But if we're doing what we're supposed to do, it shouldn't even matter, because we're still on the right mission. And if they get me, so what? Like, you're supposed to be stepping up, doing the same damn thing, bro. Like, because what are we really doing? Yo, I appreciate that, my brother Bobby. Yeah, I appreciate that. But they might, nah, I'm just joking, bro. Nah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, they listen to these channels so they can understand what we're doing. And then you have white trolls who listen to us because they can't get enough of us. But they listen, they study their enemies, and you have to study your enemy too. And your enemy studies you. So, and they use certain things because they know we're spooked out, and they used our spooked out nature against us. Right? That's why I said we have to come back to reality at some point. We have to realize they use our nature against us, and our love for every goddamn body against us. But yo, I am pissed off about the economic situation that we're in. Like, let alone the violence, right? The stuff that they do. Right? I'm pissed off like hell about property tax. Yo, why I gotta pay property tax on something that I already bought and paid taxes on and all of this stuff? Why, for my schools could be good? My textbooks is horrible. My schools in the community is horrible. Well, yeah, all we want is just money to assimilate more into the system. Yo, like, people lost sight of what this channel is about. It's about the destruction of their civilization. It's about the creation of our civilization. All right, I'll say that. But listen to this, right? One of the let me do this first. Other tactics that they use, right? Divide and conquer. The goal of the FBI was to cause gang violence between the Black Panthers and other groups to create different frictions inside the Black Party. And we talked, my brother Bobby and I talked about this group earlier, you know what I'm saying? And I disagree. But the group, the Uru movement, you know what I'm saying, and they love for all people, maybe that's part of the reason why they got infiltrated. They let themselves get infiltrated. We got to be strict against ourselves. And we let so many people go. We let so many people come into our communities and don't ask anything. And the divide and conquer. This is why I specifically, and I encourage y'all to stop getting into this ADOS versus FBA thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is their move. Like, we can have the discussions, but don't do it that way, because this is not our mindset. I can't prove it, but I would bet money that this is somebody else getting us to act as agents, right? As a divide and conquer strategy. Just stop doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have something positive to say, then shut up. You know what I'm saying? If you have a way to solve it, then speak up. If you want to promote the other side and be like, we need to stop this division, then speak up. But if we gonna talk negative about it, then don't, because at this point, that's all we can do. I'm not saying if all we did was speak positive, don't speak negative. But if we only speak negative, I'm like, yo, speak positive at some point. See, that's an excuse, because all we do is speak negative about each other, and divide and conquer is a strategy that we should all know about, that we can use against other people if we actually thought about it. I'm not talking anything about the tactics itself. I'm talking about how we let it go down in our community. All right. The goal was to cause gang violence in the community. I don't know. I think this says it. If it doesn't, then I'll, because it was saying when the Bloods and the Crips was talking about uniting in the 90s, the FBI and all that, they tried to find ways to even stop that, because they don't want black unity, because black unity is the black messiah. They, you know how they be like, the goal is to stop the rise of the black messiah. It is not me. It's not any one of you. Black unity is the black messiah, right? See, that European thinking is, well, it's one person who's the leader, and this is this one person, and if you kill this, then it. Yo, black people, African, if you want to say that, thinking is not one leader. It is black unity. That's why I'd be like, yo, stop being scared to step up. Who cares if they get me, then it's gonna go to somebody else. But you be like, yo, I don't want to get got, but you will never get free that way, right? Assassinating key leaders, and this is just the Black Panther Party, but we talked about Malcolm X just now, assassinating key leaders, and then people are gonna get scared. You know what I'm saying? Using tax investigations to drain the resources. We've seen them do this with Marcus Garvey, and this is how J. Edgar Hoover got his rise to fame. You know what I'm saying? So they raided the Black Panther offices with guns and initiated shootouts, framing and arresting black leaders on false charges. It's the same thing. Yo, what's going on, Shanique? Yeah, definitely, Shanique. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Hopefully you can get to the crib. Maybe y'all can get on. They scared to touch this one, Raw. Like, yo, Raw, they're not coming on here. Bobby, my brother, they're not coming on here. So they probably part of it. So listen, all right. One of the FBI documents that shows how to destroy black organizations and black leaders said, prevent the coalition of black militant nationalist groups. And it's easy to do that, right? Even in the situations that we're in. I've seen, like, the point of what we were trying to do when we were trying to build our own. And this is why I'm like, I'm not talking about the coons, because it's the so-called people who's supposed to be down and militant that's not down with our movements. You see how Raw will give to all those people. And Raw, this is the only reason why I was saying that, because they never gave me anything. You gave me something. They didn't. My brother Bobby holds me down. They don't. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I have another sister who always hold me down. Wanda Chavis, you know what I'm saying? She be holding me down, and she don't ask for nothing. And she donated the most to the water thing. And she donated to me before I had the water thing. Like, just on she for a while, she was just doing it for every month. Like, and I shouts out to that sister, and I would, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would give it back to that sister, you know what I'm saying? And I have. Like, that's what I'm saying, Raw. Like, you are with that, but most black people are not. That's why it's easy to prevent the coalition of black militant nationalist groups, because we was more militant in the 60s than we are today, right? But they call anything militant, and it's hard for us to unite, because it's brothers who will come in and like, oh, you don't support me and my movement and what I'm doing and my leader and this and that. The goal is not for me to just be some conformist and sign up and be a part of your group. It's for us to support each other's groups and movements that we have support and faith in. Do I agree with everybody 100%? No, I don't expect everybody to agree with me 100%. And if you do, I might start looking at you like the damn informant. You know what I'm saying? But like, at the same time, when we try to make these movements and stuff, Black people, even in small things where we're not really accomplishing much because we just getting started and it's just a small group of us, Black people have left it just with me because they were like, yo, like, oh, you don't support what I'm doing. And they like get mad because it's an ego thing where they want to be on top and, oh, this sister is doing this and you won't help me do that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really like, yo, I support what you're doing. I'm just trying to bring attention to what you're doing so we can get as much support for them as possible. Because I can't do but what I can do. But I can also try to do what I use everything that I can to help you. But even in that situation, like we get jealous with each other and it's hard for us to unite. And this is the people who we don't call informants that we love and think that's in our circles, right? Because that's a part of it that we have to address. And that's why I always be like, I don't talk about the coons because y'all not gonna talk about the coons that y'all love. Only like Erica will, Raw will, MD2 will. He will call you a coon even if he love you. You know what I'm saying? If I was sitting here saying some cool stuff, he would call me out. Raw would call me out. Erica would call me out. But there are some people that the rest of y'all will give a pass to. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so the FBI said they wanted to prevent the coalition of Black militant groups, and unity, there is strength, right? And unity, there is definitely strength, right? A truism that is no less valid for all its triteness, right? An effective coalition of Black nationalist groups might be the first step towards real Mau Mau. If you don't know what the Mau Mau revolution was, you look that up, you know what I'm saying? Where the Mau Mau, you know what I'm saying, revolution. The people, and this is part of being spooked out, right? They told them that the sacred water, if they put it on their arrow tips, it will give them protection and all of this stuff. And hey, it worked for a while, you know what I'm saying? And the Mau Mau was a problem. But the Mau Mau oath, matter of fact, that's what I'm gonna pull up to be the closing. The Mau Mau oath. A lot of y'all wouldn't be able to take the oath. And the oath was shut your damn mouth. And when we say it's time to move, let's move. And Black first, Black unity, Black only was the Mau Mau revolution. Right? So that will say that's the first real step towards the Mau Mau revolution in America, beginning a true Black revolution, right? Because the real unity, the real Black Messiah is Black unity, and there's no way around that. I tell you all the time about the suicide mission and the suicide mission and the martyr. And maybe being a martyr is okay, but being a suicide mission is nothing, because once you're dead, you know what I'm saying, people is not going to continue it. But a martyr, people will be like, yo, enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? Now, if my death meant like, yo, Black people get free, I'll be okay with that, really. You know what I'm saying? But I know a lot of people wouldn't say that, you know what I'm saying? But that's just me. But until we develop that mindset, you're going to be a slave, though. I would say that. But anyway, so this explains why the FBI has tried to stop Black political organizations and Black gangs from uniting together after the 92 Bloods and Crips truce. Because imagine if you had the Bloods and Crips, we throw away the people that we call criminals and stuff like this, but these is really our Black militant class. And then the athletes, right? The people who play football, especially, these brothers is big as hell. Have you ever seen a football player like the dude? I went to the Redskins practice. The dude RG3, right? He's small as hell when it look like compared to other football players, but you go beside him, he big as hell. And they fast, strong, and they bow down to their masters. Right? Imagine if that's your militant class right there, right? Imagine if that you had them as your army. You would be a problem, so much so that they'd be definitely trying to spy on you. But after the 92 Bloods and Crips truce, which Tupac was involved with, and I showed you Tupac at the beginning, right? The Los Angeles police wanted to keep the gang war going. One of the Crip members, Crip Cal, talked about how the police pulled him over, arrested him, took his car, and did a drive-by against the Bloods. And I told you this about Chicago. Y'all did not believe me. Y'all did not believe me. And I'm starting to question y'all. I was like, maybe I am tripping, but now I'm not saying I'm tripping. Y'all are tripping. Because there was accounts. I can't even pull up the mask thing no more because after the pandemic, all you see when you talk about masks is the mask about, oh, should you wear a mask and all of this stuff. Maybe I would be a conspiracy theory because they knew I was on to something. They was about to show y'all something. But they even had a news clip. I was on one of the videos I did. Is on my page. Like if you go back to one of the 2019 videos I did, it was in the summertime 2019. So if you go through my videos, I can't go through it. But if you find it, I talked about the Chicago shootings where the people had masks on that was a blackface mask, and they was doing this to perpetrate black violence in quote unquote Chicago. And people don't believe me. You know what I'm saying? But this is not nothing new. They wanted violence from the 1870s, 1700s. I'm trying to show you this through the Black history stuff. It's the same tactics over and over and over and over and over. And we still falling for the same thing. And we let one or two black people who's inevitably going to be corrupted. So what counter can we do to stop that? Because they're going to be there. You know what I'm saying? It's something you're going to have to deal with. And they may be here, Raw. I told you, Raw, they're not coming on this show. And I've been on here for a while. But anyway, I still got more to go. Los Angeles police wanted to keep the gang war going. So they talked about how the police did a drive-by with his car and all of that. So they made it seem like the Crips committed the drive-by. And this was done to keep the gang war going and gun violence in the black community. Right? And we don't have to subscribe to that, but we do. You know what I'm saying? We do subscribe to that. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, y'all hold on for a minute. I'm going to keep going. And I'll put the link in the chat, but y'all hold on for a minute. Oh, damn, my computer freezing now. All right, so hold on. Let me put it in the chat, and then I'm going to finish up. Because some of you all probably are the informants, but I'm not. I'm just saying. All right. So let me keep going then. All right. So it was to keep the gun war, it was to keep the gang war going in the black community, right? So the Los Angeles police used divide and conquer tactics back in the 60s as well, right? And they started a program to cause violence between the Black Panther Party and a black political organization called US, United Slaves, you know what I'm saying? They created their divide and conquer program for shootings and beatings between the two groups. So they often committed the crime and acted like it was other black people who did it. And then it is black people who come on black. Well, see, black people shows do black people sells each other out to slavery. You know that? It was black slaves owners. You know, which group sold each other out to slavery? Which name the black slave owner? Tell me right now, because yeah, just speaking out of BS, right? All right, so y'all know the it was used against the leadership and the Black Panthers and all of that stuff, and we know about the you know what Bakari talks about, the Black Panthers down in Alabama and stuff like that, right? But they also allowed themselves to be infiltrated by thinking they had white friends, right? Whether no matter what their mindset is, they thought they had black friends, you know, or friends, which they do not. So in 1969, two of the biggest gangs in Chicago united to stop the violence that was plaguing the black community, right? So David Barksdale and Larry Hoover joined forces to become one organization towards the same economic mission as Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, and the Black Panthers. This was doing for self and controlling the economy of the neighborhood. When the gangs formed into one and began changing for better, They open up businesses, restaurants, and clean communities up. You understand? That's how powerful Black unity is, right? That's all we have to do. We don't have to do nothing else, right? Once they stop shooting each other, they made businesses. Like the last time we stopped shooting each other, we made businesses, restaurants, and cleaned our communities up. And I believe if the next time we stop shooting each other, we will make businesses, restaurants, and clean our communities up, right? So they advocated against truancy, right? Well, we have Black schools and stuff. We created schools. Now, I don't know about this voter registration drive, and what I say that I'm saying there's no reason why we can't have voting, right, for Black leaders, right? I used to say all the time, like one of my solutions was to have a Black organization strictly to fund and grow Black businesses. Well, we pick, since we want to go out and vote, well, we vote for Black leaders, right? You go out in person because we vote for Joe Biden or Donald Trump. Lesser of two evils. Let's vote for the greater of two goods. You know what I'm saying? Well, we get out and we vote for Black business leaders, right? And we put strictly for funding and growing Black businesses, right? And they have to remain transparent. That's what I'm saying. They have to remain transparent, and what they say, it has to be accomplished within a certain time period. But Black people contribute to this group. You know what I'm saying? Like whether you be a millionaire and contribute thousands, or you be working every day and contribute $1 a week. I don't care what it is, but we all contribute to it. And in return, they will fund Black businesses in our communities, but we would have to support those businesses, but those businesses will also hire us, right? But that's something simple that we can do, right? If we want to get out there and vote, you know what I'm saying? Same thing in New Orleans before Katrina. Ross says, same thing in New Orleans before Katrina, with the drive-by killings of children in the Black neighborhoods. And I talked about that, Raw. I talked about that on here. But they was like, no, oh no, it had to be other Black people. But no, it was them doing that. And then they left people in jail and all that stuff. People died in the prisons and stuff. Like, and then we think that these people have our best interests at heart, and we will sell each other out at the heartbeat. But anyway, so the gangs were given 2 community centers. Larry Hoover opened free lunch program to feed the youth in the community. Right now, and we was talking about Bumpy Johnson and the selling drugs, but also what they do in the community. I think selling drugs is an abomination, and you still should be held accountable. And you should probably take all his money and use it in the Black communities. But anyway, so other gangs such as the Vice Lords open up ice cream stores for teens. Have you ever heard that sentence before? The Vice Lords open up ice cream stores for teens. So of course you never heard that, because we only hear whatever. So the unity and activism of the gangs was one of the fears of the FBI. You know what I'm saying? Of course it is, because Black unity is the Black Messiah. And they would go all out to kill people like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, who said, I just want to hold little white kids' hands, and they shot him in the face. Understand that. They shot him in the face. And he just, what did he have to be infiltrated? They shot him in the face. He said, I want to see a society where Black boys and girls can hold hands with white boys and girls. And they shot him in the face and arrested him like 30-some times. So what are you scared of anyway, by the way? And what are you going to say? Oh, yeah, you want to have sex with the white girls? They really going to lynch you then, boy. Anyway, so Tupac said that he believed there wouldn't be so much violence if the FBI had let them do that. You know what I'm saying? So I showed that because I showed Tupac at the beginning, right? And they were like, yo, there's a connection between Malcolm X and Tupac and the Black Panthers, right? So I'm going to play this.
Intrigued by the story of her having to defend herself in court during the Panther 21 trial in 1970. And according to reports, the New York Black Panther Party was infiltrated by 2 New York City undercover agents. One of the agents was a guy by the name of Gene Roberts, who ironically was also a part of the security detail to protect Malcolm X at the Audubon Ballroom in 1965. It was also reported that after Malcolm X was shot, Gene was the first person to rush the stage to admit.
Look at that. This is the FBI giving Malcolm X as he lay there dying. And a black man he's not FBI, I'm sorry, because the FBI didn't allow black men and they said he couldn't do anything and he better shut up and he don't do nothing but give me information, boy. And he got in trouble because he's actually a loose end between them. You know what I'm saying? This thing here makes them tied into Malcolm X's murder. So he got in trouble for this picture. And yeah, like Ross said, after he woke up, they killed him because it is true. There was 3 parts to Martin Luther King. The beginning part where Martin Luther King was putting in a lot of work. He was a revolutionary, right? Then the second part where he kind of was on some all lives matter stuff of today, people of color stuff. And then there was another part where he said, black people, we need to go get our money. And he was like, we integrating our people into a burning building. There was 3 phases, if we want to be truthful, about Martin Luther King. And then when he actually got to the 3rd phase, they shot him in the face. And actually, when Malcolm X stopped talking about it and saying, well, there could be some good white people, but I think he would have took it back once he realized that was not true. I disagree with Malcolm X about that, like I said last time. But once he got to that point, you know what I'm saying? They even shot him after that. When he would start talking about, people together, but he was also talking about black people getting free in America. You know what I'm saying? But this dude here, this black man, right, is giving him mouth to mouth, and he got in trouble. And he's like, well, I didn't want to see him die. Well, what do you think the FBI was going to do? What do you think the CIA was going to do? Man, anyway.
Administrate CPR on Malcolm. But according to John Potash, the author of the book, The FBI War on Tupac Shakur and Black Leaders, Gene Roberts was also there to confirm Malcolm's death for the FBI. The other agent was a guy by the name of Yedwas Sudan, who apparently played a huge role in organizing the Black Panthers. And during cross-examination, Afeni Shakur was able to break down Yedwas Sudan into admitting that not only did he help train the Black Panthers, but he also helped to revolutionize the Panther Party, all while acting as a New York City police officer. In fact, I was more...
Right, so now this same dude who was supposedly Malcolm X's bodyguard, I think he snitched on Tupac's mom, Afeni Shakur, right? And he was a part of that. So after Malcolm X's death, he went on to infiltrate the Black Panther Party, right? And we know that even the organizations of today, you know what I'm saying, the black militias of today, they get infiltrated, you know what I'm saying? And this is something that if you're going to create one, that you have to prepare and account for. You know what I'm saying? We can at least account for the information that we have out there already, and also account for information that we don't have. And by meaning that, understand that your enemy is probably developing more methods, but they usually recycle their methods because they're not that complicated and they're kind of like slow, but we're even slower. Because I don't think we're slow. I think we're emotional, but we're even slower because we don't adapt to the same tactics that they use over and over. They say the same thing. They just put it in a new form. They dress it up in a new way. You know what I'm saying? But we still can't realize that. Yeah, no, that was the second hymn, bro. The first hymn was on some like when he was young, a teenager, before he went to the missionary school, because he did go to the. You're right about that. And yeah, but he had militias at his stuff. He was putting in some work in his teenage years, but then after he went to that Bible school, you know what I'm saying, he started talking that people of color stuff, you know what I'm saying? Then he was on that for a while until the end, where he kind of, you know what I'm saying, was like, yo, forget that. But, you know, this same dude went on to infiltrate, you know what I'm saying, the Black Panthers. So after his death, he didn't even learn from then. No wonder he died of, like, he got alcoholism and died and all that stuff. So check this out, right? So during the joint, because like I said, I was watching more, because I'm in 1965 on Malcolm X's death, right? Listen to what this dude here said before I play what I want to play.
Civil rights icon to laud his record with charter schools and education when he was mayor of Newark. And it's pretty cringeworthy.
See, I don't like
Malcolm
when white.
X.
I don't like when white bitches like this say this, and I don't like using their information because that's no different. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I want us to recognize, like, because we would be like, oh, well, she's out. No, this is another white bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing. Like, she don't have no business saying this. You know what I'm saying? And that's my opinion, even about this mulatto dude. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's mulatto for real, but anyway. Yeah, a true Judas ending. You know what I'm saying? And I had one about the first black FBI agent to get shot, but I couldn't play that because that would be too long. But at the same time, like, because the story is just too long, and it doesn't make sense because they say he was chasing a bank robber or something like that, but he was an FBI agent in the 60s. He was used to infiltrate people. I think he got caught and he got a Judas ending. Yeah, his words changed. He said, yeah, pulled themselves up by our bootstraps and by any means necessary. Yeah. So listen, to what this dude Cory Booker said.
X. Booker, a senator. X. Was like Malcolm X. Booker, a senator from New Jersey, told an Iowa crowd in February of his time as Newark's mayor. He went on to cite a quote he has used for nearly 2 decades to justify his centrist brand of education reform. By any means necessary, my kids were going to get an education. Centrist. That's exactly what it is.
Now, I want to ask you a question, my brother Bobby. When it comes to this stuff, a lot of them have connections with black politicians, right? Like a lot of people who committed treasonous actions have ended up having connections with black politicians later on down the line. And I'm like, yo, that whole thing is kind of confusing. And so like I'm like, yo, what is the deal with that? You know what I'm saying? Because is that a part of it too? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people who dealt with a lot of treasonous behavior in our communities deal with other black people who have treasonous behaviors but are in political positions like this dude Cory Booker. Now I'm gonna play this part because I just seen this earlier, right? And I didn't even realize this, but I thought it was interesting, and I started to send this to a couple of people. So I wonder what y'all have to say about this Cory Booker. I don't know if he's a mulatto or not, so it may not even count, but it's still whatever. But he got caught lying about the dude who supposedly killed Malcolm X, right? Was actually in a commercial of his when he was the governor or mayor or whatever the hell he was of New Jersey. And the same dude was in his commercial. And he has a lot of ties with black political officials, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have enough evidence to say that this is a constant theme, but I have seen this before where these people who commit treason in our communities, like to the point of a black man killing Malcolm X, can you believe that? And they have ties with black political officials, and it's a whole circle, and they have ties with white institutions, white establishments, both of them, but they have ties with each other. And I just thought that was kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? Now, I've seen it enough times for me to even put it like this, but not enough times to where I can like say that. But yo, my brother Bobby, if you still listening, like, yo, do you have any idea about that? But let me play this.
Somebody named William Bradley, Mustafa Shabazz.
In Newark, from Newark.
Yeah, we have lost what is absolute. Yeah.
Are you familiar with somebody named William Bradley?
All right, this is low.
Mustafa Shabazz.
In Newark, from Newark. Yeah.
Do you know that he appeared in a re-election campaign video
Y'all turn it up.
2010, and that he is one of the people who allegedly murdered Malcolm X?
That connection I was not aware of. No.
You weren't aware of that?
Everybody in New Jersey is aware of it, but he's not aware of it. Now, it might not count because he's a mulatto, but whatever.
That connection I was not aware of. No.
You weren't aware of that?
You are breaking news to me. He's one of the people that is alleged by whom?
By Talmadge Hayer, who is a convicted assassin, an admitted assassin of Malcolm X.
Wow, I was not aware of
Do
that.
you want to see it?
Do you have it with you right now?
I think we did.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't talk.
4 years ago, violent crime in our city was getting worse. But together, Newark, we took.
He act like he ain't know him.
Yeah, no, I know him well. I know him well.
You've never heard anything about his affiliation with the
I have not heard that. I have not heard that. Yeah.
Does it surprise you?
Again, I would love to know the facts. I'd love to know the facts. Yeah.
It's one of many threads of Malcolm's assassination that have not been reopened or unearthed.
Yeah, right. And it's important to get to the truth. And by the way, we all know.
Yeah, Bobby said he's a typical Negro politician. He works for the system. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, as a part of his working for the system, yo, that has some kind of connection, or am I being spooked out at this point? Like, where the treasonous people seem to have a connection with the black politicians who we know practice treasonous behavior. And like I said, it may not be treasonous because he may be a mulatto. As much as y'all accept a mulatto, I don't. So it may not be treasonous per se, but there is a lot of examples of black people, because there was other black people who supported this dude, black politicians. So maybe I'm being spooked out when I'm saying, yo, this black politician connection with these kind of people, just, I understand it, but it's just still weird to me, like, where I can't really comprehend it, like, where I don't understand like the meaning of like these treasonous people with other black politicians. Exactly, Raw. The absolute is unity, not a person or whatever. Is black unity. It's the Black Messiah. But yeah, I don't know. It's just weird to me, Bobby. That's what I was saying.
That there's been wrongful accusations, wrongful convictions, and presumption shouldn't be made about anybody. But we should get to the truth. And again, so much of this history is tied in with the history of Newark and history in our state. We should follow the evidence and find out, and we should know these things. But we should not jump to conclusions about anybody. That's really important.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, he's been named multiple times off the record.
And they had the cape for him real quick too, by the way.
He's a one living assassin, potential assassin.
Please
Yeah, potential, but depending on who you ask, right? Because if you ask an NOI member, this is some BS here. All right, so before I go to the last part, right, because that is I'm gonna go to something, it's the same thing, but I have to ask y'all a question, right? Because it's easy to identify certain informants and the people that we don't like. And this is something that we definitely have to sum up, right? Yeah, the dude, Bobby said, I'll give you an example. Wilson Good, mayor of Philadelphia, the dude who ordered the bombing on the MOVE organization, he supported, yes, I gotta see how more to put it. But yeah, he's talking about the black mayor who was down with who was standing out there talking about it, right? And this is another part of the infiltrated mentality, because a lot of them are in these positions where they do these to they use blackface. I used to talk about in the Chicago police precinct, they had to do Eddie Robinson, you know what I'm saying? And he always talked about black on black crimes, and they put him out there as the face, especially because Chicago. And we just looked at what they was talking about Chicago, right? Back in the 60s. They are Confederate against us. Shanique says they are Confederate against us, and that includes some that look like us within the organized system. And I agree with that, right? I agree with that, Shanique. And see, my thing is though, right, when we have to go after black people first, I still disagree with that. Yeah, Soros have two spirits. That's why I was like, he might not count, Raw. He might not count. But it's still like, because there are other black people who have done the same thing, right? But when we say we have to go after our own first, you know what I'm saying? I still disagree with that. Maybe if we say we got to go after our own at the same time, I could get with that. When we go after them we'll have to deal with our own at the same time now with that statement. But when you be like, well, let's go after our own, no, I am not with that statement. It's still the system that creates these people. You know what I'm saying? It's the system that must be destroyed, not the products of the system. You know what I'm saying? But that does not mean you're going to let them infiltrate your organization. And as much as y'all give me a hard time on this subject, y'all sure did run from this one, Raw. Hey, Raw, they ran from this one because they knew I wasn't gonna let them get a pass about they infiltrated mentality. But they sure did run on this one. But that's all right though. It's okay. Y'all can run. But yeah, you're right, Shanique. You know what I'm saying? There are people that look like us within the system that we do have to deal with at the same time, but I'll never go past the same time, right? Because I understand as long as we keep going after each other, we're just doing the same thing over and over. But yeah, man, but that's what I'm saying, there is a connection with all of these sellouts, especially like with our politicians and all of that stuff. But if we gonna vote, we might as well vote for stuff like this. All right, so before I get out of here, so it don't be super long, all right, there's another kind of infiltrated that we do have to address, right? And that's the unknowingly infiltrated. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't, but what do we do with the unknowing infiltrated people? Because they are just as dangerous, if not more, right? So if y'all are so hard on these infiltrators, what are we going to do with the people? Because nobody answered that, right? What are we going to do with the ones who infiltrate us unknowingly, right? Who think they so-called doing the good thing, right? And so I'm going to give you an example, right? And before I put this brother on blast, right? Because I'm not trying to do it that way. There's no disrespect to this brother here, but we have to learn. I was going to show this on the last one when I'm talking about us, whether we're spooked out or punked out. You know what I'm saying? But some brothers came on the channel and like Raw said, we have been determined to be punked out because they was kind of, and there's no disrespect to them. People take it personal, or stuff that I say personal. But you don't have to take it personal. You could have came on here and told me I'm infiltrated. I said you have the opportunity to do that, but I think y'all so infiltrated and so scared. And like Ross said, y'all don't have the cojones. I'll be like, a Mexican conquered person and say cojones, right? Y'all don't have the cojones to come on here and say it because I'm gonna hold you accountable for your infiltrated stuff, because y'all act like y'all not infiltrated and y'all not doing the same damn thing, and y'all not acting as unknowing agents. And that's why we have to understand what we do with the unknowing agents like y'all, right? And I'm not talking about Raw or Bobby or Erica, maybe the rest of y'all though. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just playing. But or Shanique, I would definitely say Shanique. But like Raw, Erica, Bobby, what are we gonna do with the rest of these infiltrated, people? Because like I said, they not, as much as y'all give me a goddamn hard time about not being hard on black people, y'all sure did run from this topic. Even though y'all still listening. Only Raw was like really going in on the chat, and like Bobby going in on the chat. The rest of y'all and Shanique, the rest of y'all is definitely running. Even though y'all come on here cooning all the time with y'all infiltrated mentality, and I let y'all pass, but y'all get mad at other coons and stuff like this. But anyway, let me get back to it before I say something that y'all get mad about. All right. So before I play, I'm gonna play this for this brother, right? So y'all don't have a biased point of view. Listen to I'm gonna play this one for his benefit, because I want to ask y'all a question.
That Harriet Tubman was married when she started the Underground Railroad? Raise your hand if you knew she was married. Raise your hand if you knew that Harriet Tubman actually lived.
Oh yeah, by the way, listen to this fool talking about Harriet Tubman.
Did you know that Harriet Tubman was married when she started the Underground Railroad? Raise your hand if you knew she was married. Raise your hand if you knew that Harriet Tubman actually lived with her husband, who was a free black man. Raise your hand if you knew that. And raise your hand if you knew that her husband told her not to do it, and he would forever go down in history as a coward. But her husband said, don't do it. She was married, living with her husband, who was a free black man, when she started the Underground Railroad. Now, I want you to put this in perspective. Who do you think helped Harriet Tubman in the Underground Railroad. It was white people. She wasn't going to black people's houses and escaping to the north to llama.
Straight Bali boys. Straight Bali boys, right? They gonna come on the next one when I'm talking about something else positive, right? Where they ain't gonna put on blast for they coon like agent behavior. But they know they gonna get put on blast. They have the opportunity to put me on blast for my agent behavior right now. I'm not gonna be unfair, you know what I'm saying? But they know they're gonna be put on blast. It's not worth it. Bali boys. Um, yo, Bobby, let me ask you this question, Bobby. So the brother who was the agent with Malcolm X, you think he kept him close to keep him like that, or you know what I'm saying, you think that he just didn't know? I think a lot of black people don't know though, you know what I'm saying, or the people who they got infiltrated by, I don't think they would guess that person, you know what I'm saying, like, and this is what I'm saying, like, for the young people who, if they want to come up and do something, that you have to be aware about, you know what I'm saying, be prepared about whoever's around you, you know what I'm saying. And it's okay, because like I said, if you really doing what you're supposed to do, and then also training the next person, right, show no fear. They can't stop you. They cannot stop you, right? They can't stop the real black messiah. I'm telling you, that's why they are so scared about it. But this infiltration is a problem. You said Malcolm X didn't know. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I agree with you though. Like, yeah, like keeping that person close to you and getting that information for yourself, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't mean to cut him off, because I'm gonna give this brother a chance to shine. Because I meant to play this on the last one about spooked out or punked out, but I had too much stuff. Even this one is too long, but I don't care. I'm gonna finish this one. They scared to come on this one anyway, so I can finish it. Maybe I need to talk about this one when the next time they come on here, so they stop coming on here.
Land. She was going to the north where black people were free, and white people helped them all along the way. Good white people who never believed in slavery. She wasn't going to Harriet Tubman in the Underground Railroad. It was white people.
It was white people.
She wasn't going to black people's houses and escaping to the north to La La Land. She was going to the north where black people were free, and white people helped them all along the way. Good white people who never believed in slavery, believed that it was wrong, it was an ill, it was a sin, always helped black people escape slavery and become free. We've always worked together from the very beginning of time.
Number one. Now, okay, like you said, number one. Before I ask y'all the question, before I play this brother here, let me ask you, the brother who's speaking about Harriet Tubman, we always work together. I'm curious if y'all think that well, I'm really only talking to Bobby and Raw for real, cause and Shanique, you know what I'm saying? The rest of y'all, you know what I'm saying? I'm worried. I'm worried, bro. They might be infiltrated. Like I said, I'm gonna keep going back to it. But besides Bobby and Raw and Shanique, you know what I'm saying? And Erica, I'm a little bit worried about the rest of y'all, because y'all sure they run from this topic, boy. But anyway, this brother here who's talking about we needed some white people. Do you think that number one, that's agent behavior? That might be a little bit easier, but I don't, maybe it's not agent behavior. Maybe it's just cooned out nature where you whatever. But that's an unknowing agent. So I guess a better question would be, do you think that he's an unknowing agent or a knowing agent? And the people that be saying this kind of stuff, do you think that they're unknowing agents? Like, y'all see First Rifleman come on here. You think, and look, let's be real, bro. Like, you say some ridiculous stuff and you don't know what you're saying. Bobby said he remember reading about the FBI agent. His name was, yo, Bobby. I swear I looked up. That the first black person. Yeah, I did mention it. Eddie Wood Rifle or Woodworth or whatever his name was. He was the first black FBI agent that got killed, right? And they made it seem like it was a robbery or something. But why would they have a black FBI agent investigating or trying to stop a bank robber? That don't make sense to me. And he was probably the first black agent, and he got killed by a black man, I believe. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he was probably like the first one that got what had, like, listen, not to put it that way, but the first one that he got what he had coming. And he was the first black agent that got killed. You know what I'm saying? Now, probably should have been the brother with Marcus Garvey, with the first black agent, period. But I had a video talking about the dude's daughter doing a documentary about the first black agent that got killed, and they didn't do anything for his family, by the way, because like I showed y'all with the last one, the other dude, how he didn't get promoted and they didn't help his family. He died alone because of alcoholism. What you think happened to all those dudes who ratted out Gabriel Prosper? What you think? They died as slaves, yo. Did you hear about them becoming free? The only thing they have in history is they ratted out a person who was fighting for their freedom, and they probably died slaves because of it. They probably got sold to a horrible master who beat them all the time. And I say master because they snowed out the dude who would have freed them. And they probably got beat all the time and then died because of, you know what I'm saying, of exhaustion in the cotton field. Because they snitched. Yup. You said, yeah. So this dude here, right? Agent, Ross said he's a knowing agent. Maybe he's a no. Maybe he unknowing that. Maybe he unknowing, raw, and he's just trying to get accepted. Because black people have a low self-esteem, and we want to be accepted, and we just like sometimes we be so deep that we don't have to be deep. Like it's nothing coming out of books. Like my brother Bobby comes. My brother, nobody has more book information than my brother Bobby, but he knows reality. Yo, sometimes the answer is not in a book. You can use the book to help you, but it's still reality out here. You have to understand that. Don't just be a damn robot. You understand? And a lot of black people are have low self-esteem and want to be accepted and think these kind of things will get them accepted, and they have excuses like, oh, black women did this, black men beat me up, and then they go out there crooning, but they're still unknown agents because whatever. But then there are some people who are literally agents, right? You know what I'm saying, who infiltrate you. And I respect Ross saying he's an agent, you know what I'm saying. It's absolutely Shanique says it's absolutely agent behavior, and there is no way they can not know. I get you on that one. Yeah, he's one of those Henry Louis Gates. Is Henry Louis Gates a knowing agent? And I respect what y'all saying. They probably are knowing agents. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. And so y'all would say this brother here is a knowing agent talking about white people love us and all this stuff. Because he's trying to be accepted. But my thing is, I'm just saying, he's trying to be accepted. It's low self-esteem. Like, your low self-esteem over trumps whether you know not what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, his love for white people, and it's not knowing, you know what I'm saying? It's wanting to be accepted. It's no excuse. It's still coon behavior, and it still need to be dealt with. It's still the same results. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand, too, with the but at the same time, it's trying to be accepted. The brother is emotional. You know what I'm saying? He probably like, yo, my mama did this to me and my cousin. Because if you notice, a lot of them be like, yo, my mama did something to me. If you ask them about their family, like the other brother who be like, I'm not black, he be like, yo, F my sister. My sister is so grimy, and it's a personal issue. It's personal. The people in their family, and then they put it on all black people. That's what I'm saying. I still think that's unknowing, though. You know what I'm saying? But y'all say unknowing. Fair enough. That's fair enough. Let me keep going.
Always helped black people escape slavery.
The tokens that he's
All along the way. Good white people who never believed in slavery, believed that it was wrong, it was an ill, it was a sin, always helped black people escape slavery and become free. We've always worked together from the very beginning of time.
number one. Did this man just take the legacy of Harriet Tubman to sensationalize how great white people are? Number two, he's so lost in the sauce with tap dancing for tokens that he's forgot to mention that indigenous people, people of African descent, people of European descent.
Now stop. No, stop. Stop right there. All right, because I played this dude. This is supposed to be a good one for him, but I didn't even realize he said that stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is supposed to be a good one for him, but he immediately went to everybody with some damn black people, like some coalition stuff. You know what I'm saying? And he's talking about some Harriet Tubman. Now, it's no disrespect to brothers like this, right? this is really the question about unknowing agency here. You know what I'm saying? And is this, if we're gonna talk about agents, is this the biggest detriment? Even though is unknowing agents more of a detriment than knowing agents? Do y'all think? That's a good question because I can't answer that one. Do y'all? Shanique said it's about extreme selfishness. All that matters is them in their eyes. Trauma-based mind control. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. But Shanique, Raw, Bobby, do y'all think that unknowing agents are more dangerous than the knowing agents? Almost. I'm not gonna say they are or they're not. But the brother immediately went from going in on him to saying some people of indigenous and all this stuff. And I can't even cape for what he's doing. So I'm not. Forget it.
Number two, he's so lost in the sauce with tap dancing for to sensationalize. Did this man just take the legacy of Harriet Tubman to sensationalize how great white people are? Number two, he's so lost in the sauce with tap dancing for tokens that he's forgot to mention that indigenous people, people of African descent, people of European descent were all involved with the Underground Railroad. Number three, when it comes to what he referred to as the rail raid, many historians say it's the first instance of American history of a genuinely interracial coalition, and the role of the Quakers in its success cannot.
Yo, forget that. Yo, you know, if you look up the Quakers, what they really did up in Philadelphia, I was just talking about something where the Quakers was holding a brother who got kidnapped, and the black people was pissed off about it. I think that was one of the last actually lessons about the damn Quakers, right? When they used to go out on ships and stuff like this, and they ran out of food. Guess who they ate? This is in the book of I forgot the consumption of Negroes, the thing about the devouring of Negroes. Bobby, what's the name of that book? The something about Negroes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the people of color thing for me. And the Quakers. Quakers were some damn criminals, bro. Like yo, there ain't no such thing as a white abolitionist. And the stuff that he said, yo, black abolition, that's why I was showing you stuff about the black churches. The first black churches was the places where they went for the Underground Railroad, and they'd be like, oh Lord, the white folks done helped us, and there's some good white folks and good all people of colors. And yo, stop it, brother. Is the first brother a bigger problem? Is this brother right here a bigger problem, or is this brother a problem? And this is no disrespect to him, but because maybe y'all would say, yeah, the delectable Negro. That's the right one. And they talked about these white abolitionists in the North and how they used to eat them on these slave ships and stuff like that. And I can also tell you other matter of fact, go look at the last one that I did about the they got mad about the brother. It was a bunch of people who got kidnapped and they was held. They was free men, and they had so much evidence that they was free, but the people, the so-called Quakers in these areas like Boston, kept them as captive and held them in the trial. Yeah, the delectable Negro. Yep. And now that book kind of wild towards the end, but it has a lot of good information in it. But anyway.
It's nevertheless predominantly ran by free Northern African Americans, especially in its earliest years. Most notably, the great Philadelphian William Steele. Number four, can we acknowledge that there were white people?
John Brown didn't exist, by the way, y'all.
Great Philadelphian William Steele. Number four, can we acknowledge that there were white people trying to enslave Harriet Tubman at the same time? There were white people trying to help her. So this over sensationalized thing, he just.
I dare anybody to name one white person who tried to help Harriet Tubman right now. Go. One person. Because if you do, then we're going to see who that person is, and we're going to really look that person up and see what they was about. But I don't know if y'all can come up with one name. So what the hell is he talking about? I'm asking y'all, who is the bigger problem? Or the unknowing informant, or the knowing informant, or the person who be selling out but they don't know it, so you can't be too mad at them, or the person who know what they're doing so you could be pissed off as you want to be. But do they cause the same amount of damage?
slave Harriet Tubman at the same time. There were white people trying to help her. So this over sensationalized thing he just gave, it's piss poor. Number 4, his elementary like telling of history would have people believing that all the white people where the Quakers was against slavery when actually that was false. Number 6, y'all be so lost in the sauce of this North versus South telling of history that you will forget that places like New York didn't outlaw slavery until 1827.
And forget New York. Forget New York, all right? Now, Harriet Tubman was in Maryland, which they call in the North, right? Some people would say in the North. Harriet Tubman was in Maryland. And that's all you need to know, right? When they, because they talk about Abraham Lincoln and all that BS, but he did not want to offend the slave owners. Now, did he? Right? This is the society that you're selling out for, by the way. And all we wanted to do was fight in that war. Was they like? I would say that's why I don't say thank you for your service. You ain't serving my army. You know what I'm saying? No offense and all of that, but you ain't serving my damn army. You know what I'm saying? Once you're serving my army, thanks for your service, sir. Like, is there anything I can do for you? You get a discount at my store. As for now, yeah, I might charge soldiers extra. You know what I'm saying? I know Bakari I might have to charge you. I'll charge Bakari regular price because I would have gave him a discount, and I'll charge American soldiers extra, especially black soldiers extra. So he would pay regular price, but that's just me. You know what I'm saying?
And we know that most documents show they ain't enforced that law until after the Civil War. My last point, people like him don't want students learn about black history or CRT in the classroom, but he wants to monetize it by making white folks mad and getting paid for it. Make it make sense.
Hey, newsflash, white people in today's society have nothing to do with the past. Matter of fact, blaming them for what happened in the past is inherently racist.
Now, okay, is this brother is not really an agent though, but he's acting as an agency of a greater system that is against us. Now, if like I said, y'all would be like, we need to go after this brother first, but I would say, as if it was me, I would say that if this brother get in the way, then so be it, but we're not going after them first. Bobby said, I would say the knowing sellout, but they're both dangerous. But knowing the agent is the black police or soldier who kill you if his white commander say so. Yeah. But this is the person who's going to give up that information at the same time, though. So what are we going to do? Like, all right, so it's easy to say, you know what I'm saying, what we need to do with them, because I agree with y'all, you know what I'm saying, if we catch the informant in our community, then we know what to do. But the people like this, what do we do? Then do we give them the same treatment? Do you try to educate them, or do you just whatever? I don't know. Ross said many of them large black cast iron kettles still in Mississippi as evidence of how they cooked our ancestors. When I tell you they are disgusting and they ate you, they did eat you. Like a lot of abolitionists, when they was on them ships and stuff like that and they ran out of food, guess who they ate? They ate the black people they allowed on the ships. Like, that's what they did. This is the liberals, you know what I'm saying? This is how the liberals eat you. How Hillary Clinton, today they just go to Haiti and she take over, and then we be like, oh yeah, Bill Clinton, the first black president. So I guess that make Hillary Clinton the first black woman president, first lady, I guess. The fuck? What are y'all talking about? I'm sorry to say that, but what are y'all talking about?
Nothing to do with the past. Matter of fact, blaming them for what happened in the past is inherently racist, because you're essentially just making up an excuse to hate white people. I don't need a shirt to tell me I'm a powerful black man. If I'm a powerful black man, I did that shit on my own. I worked for that shit. You don't need to amplify anything. Your power doesn't.
Ain't no powerful black man on his own. I'm gonna stop interrupting so I can finish, y'all. My bad. Y'all
Come from a t-shirt at Walmart. What? White girl can't have no magic? This victim mentality has to go. You can't keep blaming white people for all of your problems. Yes, our history was quite fucked up, but it's nowhere close to how it used to be. In fact, some of the most amazing men and women I've ever met in my entire life have been white. So if you need a t-shirt from Walmart to make you feel like you're special,
Yo, Bobby Roshni, can y'all name an amazing white person that you met? I have not. I'm sorry.
Have been white. So if you need a t-shirt from Walmart to make you feel like you're special, by all means, go get it. But don't be surprised when I come out with some merch saying white girl magic and you see some white girls wearing it. Because if black girls can have magic, that means...
Yo, now, the most unsurprising thing is a black man talking about some white girl magic. Why can't I say white girl magic? Y'all been saying that for like, I'm sorry, 6,000 years now. I'm not even like we could say 700 years, 2,000 years, you know what I'm saying? Or 1,000 years with the Arab bitches. But y'all been falling for these bitches since they was in the cave doing whatever the hell they was doing and get walked out. Tanzan told me that it was probably a black woman that went out there, but I don't know, man. There had to be a black man. He done went out there to the caves and said, white girl magic, and now you're conquered 6,000 years later, you know what I'm saying, with no hope. And you're going to sell out for her at the drop of a hat. It's crazy.
White girls can have magic too.
Number one, this video is meant to be a teachable moment. I don't know that gentleman. I'm sure he's a great person. Number two, what you just saw there was an example of racial illiteracy, the ability to read and write situations pertaining to race lacking. Number three, let me raise y'all racial illiteracy. The concept of black girl magic is made in the face of a European beauty standards and how those are weaponized against black women. Number four, we understand how generational wealth is tied to the past, correct? We understand how inheriting trust, inheriting wills is also tied to the past, correct? Number five, that rant we heard about the speaking points and blaming white people was a response to a comment that said, wouldn't need to amplify if our history wasn't so jacked up. This is an example of...
All right. Let me listen to one thing.
The weaponized against black women. Literacy.
White girls can have magic too.
Number one, there was an example of racial illiteracy, the ability to read and write situations. But let me raise y'all racial illiteracy, the weaponized against black women. Number four, we understand. I don't know that gentleman. I'm sure he's a great person. Number two, what you just saw there was an example of racial illiteracy.
All right. I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, he said his adopted parents are white. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, it makes sense. Bobby said taking it to another level about the abolitionist / liberal eating us today, how they use black people as political football, right? You know what I'm saying? As long as you shut up and dribble. Yo, Bobby, that's what I be trying to say, yo. They make our lives politics. Our lives are not politics. Black, like they be like, yo, race is a political, like whatever. It is not, yo. If I be like, yo, stop killing us, is not a political statement. That's not a political statement, bro. It's just, yo, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying, yo? Like our lives, they make as politics. Our lives are not politics. Do you understand that? And then when we sit here and explain why to white people why our life, that's why I would never, ever debate with anybody about why any black person, Trayvon Martin, anybody, why they deserve to die. If you think that they deserve to die, then we don't need to be in the same society. They could pick you for a pool of jury. I don't want to be in society with you, whether I got to destroy you or the society. And that is what it is, because they destroy us enough for me not to say that. And y'all should put me on the side of the mountain like they did George Washington for saying that, because he said the same thing. All right. So y'all ain't got to be scared. Yeah. Yo, with politics, see, when we talk about economics, that may be politics. When we talk about how we deal with other people, that may be top politics. I am not going to debate with you about whether a black person deserved to die or not. If you notice, I'm never going to debate with nobody whether a black person, I'm not going to be mad or none of that. You say what you wanted to say. I don't want to be in the same society as you if you think that Trayvon Martin deserved to die. That young brother who got choked out on the train deserved to die. I don't want to be in the same society as you. And if you say that and be like Michael Johnson was a criminal when I know he was a hero, we definitely don't need to be in the same society, because we don't have the same goals, mission, or vision. And every one of those abolitionists, liberals, all of them, ask them how they feel about Michael Johnson. ask them how they feel about your political goals and see if it's the same as theirs. If you think that they're your allies, ask any of those white nationalists about their goals and ask it and see if that's a part of your stuff. Right? Yeah. Um. Yeah, he caping for them so hard. Yeah, he is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this brother here, man. So I gave this brother a good one. So let me show you this one, man. Because and this is not about, because people be like, yo, and also that talking white stuff. It's not. First of all, that talking white stuff don't mean nothing. It's like when you talk without, like, black people have rhythm. You can say regular words. It's not about saying quote unquote smart words. You know what I'm saying? It's about saying, like, talking with no rhythm. You know what I'm saying? When you hear comedians imitate somebody, it's like they're just talking with like something stuck in their butt. But sometimes when brothers like this brother use a lot of big words and try to go out there and do all of that extra stuff, they usually have another kind of, they will also use that LBGT stuff, that white ally stuff. This is the kind of mindset that comes with it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want us to get fooled from the jump, like thinking like, you know, oh, these kind of people, like, yo, this brother, I tried to show something good, but even in that example, he had to bring up the white allies. But you have to understand, when we use certain, you could tell what somebody says by the terminology they use. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I know the questions to ask usually when people come on here, because I look up so many debates and so many different kind of subjects and so many different kind of things. I kind of know, like, it's just certain things people say. They have certain dialects that's associated with certain talking points, because people is so much of sheeps, and that includes us. We so much of sheeps, and this is a part of this being spooked out thing. But you can even do that down to the talking point, to the word that people say, and it'll give you a question that you can ask. Like, it's no surprise what First Rifleman would say about the dude who got choked out. He thinks it's an original thought. And a lot of black people think that the thoughts that they give us is an original thought, but it really is not. It's easy to determine that. You know what I'm saying? And even in these cases, the stuff that they say, the terminology they use is almost like they get it from, like, yo, it's like feminist terminology, but white feminists, like white bitches feminist terminology. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know that they would be on the people of color talking points, even from the first word that they say. And I don't get on people like this, but we have to learn that we have no friends. You know what I'm saying? But, and also, like, these kind of people, like, are unknowing agents that would try to explain racism, but nobody needs to understand it more than you. They created the damn system, bro. Like, you are politicizing our lives and us talking about free. That is not politics when I say we need clean water. That is like, yo, we need goddamn clean water. I don't want nothing to happen to my mom. I don't want to get pulled over and killed. That's nothing in political what I just said. But they would make it a political thing. And when you do this kind of thing, you politicize like our lives, bro. Stop explaining yourself to any goddamn body. When they get mad at like, even if something as simple as Angel Reese, you just do what she did that pissed them off. Do it more. Show that video. Do the thing that pisses them off. Stop politicizing our lives and our rights and stuff. That's a part of the problem. Stop wearing, it's no different. You might well put on a shirt that say, I am a man, I am a woman, because that's how you look and that's how you sound when you do this kind of stuff, bro. Like, and that's no different from the Republicans, bro. You are no different from the Republicans. The black Democrats is you on one plantation, they on another plantation, and we all on the same plantation if we don't get it together. So let me play this, right? Because Lord have mercy, this Asian chick, yo, Considra. Y'all subscribe to Considra, Raw, Shanique, Bobby. Y'all, Considra is a real one, and she really has a program to help black children. So y'all support Considra, you know what I'm saying? And I can vouch for Considra. So, and she talked about this Asian chick, you know what I'm saying? And I know black people is going to invite her to the cookout. And of course, this brother was going to invite her to the cookout. And I was gonna show this on the last one when I say spooked out or punked out, and this is why I kind of lean to punked out, because it's almost like, yo, So let me say this. I talked about Malcolm X, right? Because I've been, like I said, I'm in 1965 in the book that I'm working on about Black history. I documented. I went through every single year since I tried to go through every year since the 1400s. Of course, I can't get everything. My brother Bobby still knows more than me, and I went through everything, but I just didn't get anybody's mindset. I just looked at the history, right? And what we have to understand, and right now I'm on 1965 and Malcolm X getting, you know what I'm saying, killed, you know what I'm saying. And the thing is, Elijah Muhammad had a great thing, you know what I'm saying, but he did not have the right mindset. And Black people is so spooked out that we can't say that some kind of leader or something is wrong. And that's another way you get infiltrated so easily, that you follow the wrong kind of leaders and like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? We follow the wrong kind of leaders. And then we have this people of color. Elijah Muhammad said we Americans and stuff like this. And he didn't want to offend white Americans when it came to JFK. Black people didn't give a damn about JFK. They like, well, I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of Black people, and it's still today talking about some, oh Lord, JFK, oh Lord, have mercy, that good white man. That's the good white man that you have. Lord have mercy, then we're in trouble. But even with Elijah Muhammad, bro, like, yo, that was wrong. And we cannot say that it was wrong. And he also had this mindset of like, yo, they had an army where they could have done damage. You know what I'm saying? And if you have an army, you have to use it. You have to use it if you're serious about that's the message to the Black man in America. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's up to us to get us out of this situation. And Black men in America instead do stuff like this where all a white bitch got to do is an Asian bitch, a Filipino bitch. That's why I make fun of y'all with the Filipino thing and the white thing and all these other bitches. All they got to do is smile and say, oh, white people is bad, and they can come to the cookout. But their mission is not your mission. Just like the white it's like every white, the white liberal, the white conservative, the Asian, all of them is not your friend, bro. I'm sorry, man.
When I was learning more about it, I was reading a paper that described it as mutual understanding or misunderstanding, mutual misunderstanding. Like after the LA riots, they would interview Asian, there would be business owners who would say like, oh, well, we didn't know about the civil rights struggle. So if we had known, we would have been more sympathetic to the community.
Now, before she even gets, she skipped right over Latasha. Not why, just because of the LA thing. It was because of the Asian people who had in their involvement. Black people was like, oh, they was talking black and yellow back then. Until the Asian people showed you they wasn't your damn friends, right? See, like people will come on here and be like, yo, I may be instigating stuff. It's not me. I was in 1992. I was 5 years old. And they said, yo, let them go. When Peter Liang happened, I was probably like teenager. I don't know the exact year of that happened, but this was all before me. If I go to China right now, how you think they're gonna treat me? If I go to Chinatown in America, how you think they're gonna treat me? Like, I don't understand this. And you still sitting there talking about black and yellow. Yo, this is what I'm saying. The unknowing agents, are they a bigger threat than the knowing agents, though? And what are we going to do about it? Because if they just as dangerous, what are you going to do?
At that point, I feel like, okay, but it's been like over 20 years.
All Caucasoids.
And I was like, but again, there's no mutuality, because there's a dynamic again where it's the business owners versus customers, and it's business owners and
no, it's killers versus people who got killed and want justice. That's what it's about. Not business versus business, all this stuff. It's killers who kill little black children for coming in their stores and who do all these stuff for black children while having businesses in their community. That's what it's about. Killers versus people who kill us, right? Versus us. Killers versus us. Not no business. She ain't gonna talk about that on their. She could be at the cookout though. Maybe she'll eat a hot dog. She'll probably throw up. I wouldn't go to her cookout if I was you. Probably be eating dog.
in the neighborhood of the customers. So that's a power dynamic. And I think something that I wish I didn't feel as cynical about is it's been so long that I feel like if if these businesses wanted to do better, they could have done better by now. So when I
Man, all right. I'm gonna forget. Yo, Bobby, you said something earlier that I wanted to show, but I'm gonna forget it. I'm gonna keep going though. I wanted to show something. It would have been a great last line. I should have wrote it down. Let me see. I forgot it, but it's okay. So yeah, okay, there's another one.
immigration opening up in 1965 and recognizing this pattern of using immigrants to basically get in the way of accountability to Black people.
Now, see, this is what I thought, right? Earlier, right, when they talk about immigrant, yo, forget the Hispanic people that come over here, the Asians that come over here, because they do what's the structure, the Arabs that come over here, the white people. Like, yo, why do Black people sit here and talk about xenophobia? You ain't even got a damn nation to be xenophobic in. And if you did, you better be damn xenophobic and stop allow. You try to go to Israel right now. Try to go to Saudi Arabia right now. Try to go to Russia right now. Try to go to China right now. Try to go to Japan right now. You know what I'm saying? Like you want me to keep go? Try to go to Ukraine. You can have a Ukraine thing on your page. Try to go to Ukraine right now and tell me if they xenophobic to you or not. You better be xenophobic if you make a country. You better be. And then this is why I try to tell y'all to stop getting into that ADOS versus FBA stuff. You're sitting there talking about some damn and you think I'm down with the, immigration and I don't give a damn, you know what I'm saying, about no, but I'm definitely not gonna be like, well, let me go vote for Democrats so other Asians and Arabs and all these other Mexicans can come into the country. No, I'm not gonna sit there and cape for them either. You know, is that xenophobic? See, I don't even like the terminology that we use. That's dumb as hell. Like, to me, using the terminology like xenophobic and stuff like that. I don't agree with that terminology. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you better be goddamn xenophobic. You better be goddamn racist. And I'll hire a Black person because you know why Black people need help in our community. See, they didn't want you to eat a piece of pie because they hated you. They wouldn't even sell you a piece of pie, right? I'd be like, yo, sell them and take your money, but don't sell out yourself. Don't sell your soul. You make a business and you sell it to whatever and you take advantage of it, but don't ever put yourself in a position where they can take your business or take advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? But stop saying this BS, man.
So it's like, okay, the Civil Rights Amendment finally passes. There should be some accountability. Systems should be changing. And then all of a sudden you've thrown a group of people into the mix who don't have context. Like they've just arrived. My mom and my dad, my mom arrived in the 50s, but my dad arrived in the 60s. Those opportunities, right? Like those educational opportunities, those business opportunities, those resources that with the Civil Rights Amendment should have been opportunities.
Yo, and it's funny, y'all. Only Raw, Bobby, and Shanique really only saying something in the chat. Like, are y'all really like informants or something over here? What's going on? Yo, Raw, they have no balls, as you say. I go ahead and say it now. They have no balls, bro. They come on here every other show, but they know we're gonna get exposed for their informant ways. And only y'all are saying something in the chat. So I'll ask all of y'all who's in the chat. It's say 11. It's probably 50 people in here, to be honest with you. But only Raw, Bobby, and Shanique is saying something. Is this brother here just as dangerous as the other ones? Because they probably just as dangerous as the knowing ones, because they probably unknowing, but they realize it now that they're unknowing agents, you know what I'm saying, where they probably selling us out. And if Cassandra was here, I would vouch for her and Erica, and that's it, you know what I'm saying. I'm sorry the rest of y'all, you know what I'm saying, but Lord have mercy.
For Black people who fought for those civil rights are now, and I hesitate to say this because I don't want to say that Asian Americans don't work hard and that they don't.
Oh yeah, yo, I don't want to hesitate. Oh yeah, whatever. Until show me you. Yo, let me ask y'all, how many people did John Brown kill? I would say 0 because he got black people to do it for him. Because black people are serving other people's armies like hell. And when you serve mine, I would say thank you for your service. Until then, brother, bring back the knowledge. Yep. Yeah, Raw. I have no doubt about you. That's why they be like, yo, why do I have the most upward standing respect for Raw? Because Raw has no fear. She's just like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, I would say besides Bobby and Raw, like, I have more of compared to them, a weakness as far as black people goes. But still, I want you to know that, because I know they're listening too, Raw. That's the thing y'all have to understand. They are listening to us too. And I still tell you, and that's why I tell you, you don't gotta have a damn informant. I tell you what we're gonna do, because you can't stop it. Black unity is black unity. Black Messiah is black unity. It's not me. I'm just one person. I'm a regular person. I'm a regular man. You know what I'm saying? But that energy is in me. And you can't stop it. And I will tell you right now that you will never be able to stop it. And no matter what you do, you are going to lose, bro. You know what I'm saying? And if something happened to me, it's somebody else that's going to come and take this place. But as black people, we also have to be able to teach the next generation, right? And stop being egocentric and thinking that we have all the goddamn answers. You know what I'm saying? And understand that the next generation is supposed to take it to the next level. But I'm saying right now that my generation, I'm tired of passing it to the next generation. We're going to at least get it over the hill and get the next generation in a position where they can survive, or not just survive, but thrive. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing they can do to stop that. It's nothing they can do to stop that. You know why? Because people is going to need fresh drinking water. People is going to just be tired of being killed, bro. That's just what happens. People get tired of it. It was people before me, people after me. It's always going to be there. You know what I'm saying? It's just the point that it's time to wake that up, that energy up that's within you, because it's within all of us. That's why you get mad. It's smarter than you. When you mad and you still trying to suppress it, that means that whatever that you people call it God, I guess, you know what I'm saying? You could say call it God if you spooked out. That inner God in you was telling you that it's something that greater than what you need to be doing, than what your ego thinks you need to be doing. And I don't have no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't willing to sacrifice what you gotta sacrifice and do what you gotta do, then don't ask for nothing, because you ain't never gonna be nothing but a damn slave forever. You know what I'm saying? And the problem is, even when you sit there talking about people of color, it's no different. Because at some point you gotta learn. It's an excuse at this point. I gave the people in 1600 an excuse, but after 1700, I'm starting to ask questions. In the 1800s, I'm like, what's going on? In 1900s, I'm like, damn. And now I'm like ready to smack y'all at this point. But I have faith in black people. I do. I still have faith in black people that we can do it, that we will do it. I have faith in that. And I say faith because it's something that is faith and not necessarily evidence, but whatever. Maybe I'm spooked out. But I don't give people, and this is why I be like, I'm not as hard on the coon, because I think I have a harder definition about what is a coon than y'all do. That's what I'm trying to say. Besides Raw, Bobby, Shanique, you know what I'm saying? And the people who ain't scared to say something right now, because the numbers is getting higher, but the less people is commenting when we start talking about the real stuff. You know what I'm saying? And when we start talking about this, let me make sure, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, nobody is coming on here. And Cassandra, I would say, but she, you know what I'm saying? I would definitely include her. Y'all make sure. That's why I say y'all support Cassandra, because she will put her energy into it, and she's dead serious about what she's talking about, and she's dead serious about doing something. And Erica and Raw and Bobby is dead serious, you know what I'm saying? And I'm dead serious about it. And y'all, the rest of y'all, I don't know. And this is why I'm saying, right, the known, I'll be like, I'm not hard on the coons because a lot of us in our community say a lot of coonish stuff. That's in the circles that we have. So if I'm gonna have some kind of energy for First Rifleman, do you know that the way I feel, I'm gonna call out some of y'all for certain things? And the fact that I don't is why I give certain other people the more of a benefit of the doubt. And then at the same time, when the white boy came on here, Raw, you remember when that white boy came on? I know Raw was here when Raw remember that white boy that was on here, and black people sat there and told me I was too mean to him. And that's infiltrated at this point because they don't have to have agents because they got informants. And the difference between an agent and informant is at least one of them getting paid, and informant is just doing it. You fools is unpaid informants at this point, and you're just committing their jobs. And unfortunately, when brothers like him, because there's no disrespect to him, but I can't even say that it ain't a certain energy that this brother have. You know what I'm saying? That man, that's what I'm saying. It's no disrespect to him. Ross said the Caucasoid gave our ancestors that good stuff after our ancestors begin to rise up and fight back. Yeah. Sick. Bobby said Marcus Garvey used to say when all else fails, the conditions will make the people wake up. I know, Bobby, that's the truth. And I don't want it to go back to slavery. And I will tell you the truth, yo, and that's why I'm with my brother MD2 and what he said. The one person I would vouch for besides y'all is MD2. You know what I'm saying? And I would say that MD2, and the one thing that I would hope MD2 is don't give up on the younger generation, like, and don't think that, you know what I'm saying, whatever. You have to understand that we have to go through the growing pains too, just like y'all did, you know what I'm saying. But MD2 is absolutely right, you know what I'm saying. Like, he's the only one that agree with me when I say I will push the button right now, and I'm only trying to appeal to y'all so I don't have to, you know what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I will push the button, and yeah, that's what. Listen, man, and I guess people would know what I'm saying. And like I said, like they can listen. Like, we're supposed to like think this way. We're supposed to like, yo, I want to. I'm no different than George Washington told America. There's no point of being afraid of that. Like, what else? Because I could be a upstanding citizen, and if I get locked out of my house, I'll still get arrested. You know what I'm saying? That's Henry Louis Gates. And if not, my son. I think you're talking about. And if you're not, yeah, that's what I'm saying, Raw. Yeah, oh yeah, Bobby, you remember that white boy? They told me that. Why am I being mean to him? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't even being mean to him on top of that. You know what I'm saying? But I got more criticism about that. You know what I'm saying? But listen, man. Yeah, yo, MD2 is definitely solid. You know what I'm saying? I just hope he doesn't give up. Cause listen, like yo said, I have my issues when I like debate with the trolls and stuff like this. And I know Raw kind of get mad at it too. And I understand that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I waste a lot of time. I don't think it's a waste of time though. I think it's necessary information, you know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying, because brothers like this, I don't see as no different from the extreme brothers that we know about. Except that's why I keep asking y'all, do y'all think that these people are more dangerous? The people like this who try to explain racism and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of y'all listening, but nobody's even saying nothing because a lot of y'all probably doing this stuff, and it's crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it is what it is. And I'm pretty sure, and like Malcolm X said, but I'm gonna have you pat down when you come into the Audubon room. How about that? You gonna be pat down, and I'm gonna be strapped up. You know what I'm saying? So if you come up to the try the stage, you're gonna be wiped out. And my brother at the stage is not gonna leave the stage no matter what happened. I don't care if some in somebody's pocket or not. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not giving other people a pass when I be like, y'all, I'm not hard on the coon. Maybe I have a stricter definition because this is no different to me. You know what I'm saying? And he means well. I think the brother means well. But the energy that we have for each other is just sickening. And I think that when y'all do the same thing, y'all are participating in our destruction. And when you and I'm gonna be real, when you say you're not willing to do certain things for certain people, I don't think you'll ever get freedom that way. You have to be about a structure that protects it. It's just a system that protects what it is. If you ask the most liberal person if they want to see the destruction of America, ask them if you want to. I promise you they will say no. And that's why you are every white person is a white nationalist. I don't care how much of a liberal or a friend you think they are. Jane Elliott is a white nationalist, right? Tim Wise, all of them fools. Rachel Dolezal, Sean King, all of them are white nationalists. And there's too many black people acting as white nationalists. All right, so let me go through this, man, because only y'all is I respect y'all the most out of everybody. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, with Casidra, I'm gonna add Casidra into that. You know what I'm saying? Man, this is something kind of different, right? This is something kind of different. And it's only a few minutes. But this is another characteristic though, because like I said, this is related to the spooked out or punked out thing. And Ross said the right answer last time. It's punked out. I don't believe there is an element of spooked out. And that's why I tell you, people will be like, let's go back to the old stuff and all of that stuff. Like, yo, we got conquered with dudes. We got conquered using the old stuff, and maybe we should update some information. That's not saying that all the information was wrong. Let's take the good information, but the stuff that helped us get conquered, we're gonna reconsider that stuff. And we're not stuck no more. It's technology. We updating our information. We updating our damn information, and we're not gonna be like I said, they're updating. They may update the tactics that they use when they infiltrate us, but even that we got to be prepared for. And even if they get me or you when we accomplish something, I'm telling you right now, we're gonna solve water issue for black people. And if they take me out, then that would be not only proof, but that means that black people is rise up even faster. And that's the mindset. It is, yo. It is what it is. You have to be prepared at all areas. And I'm prepared for the black person who's trying to infiltrate because it won't work on me. It won't work that way. Maybe it's a weakness that I may have that I don't see. And that's why I believe in the council anyway. So y'all can help me with my weaknesses. But y'all don't tell me my weaknesses because y'all just, I don't know. But I respect Bobby, who would tell me my weakness. Raw would definitely call me out on my weakness, whether I agree or not. And that's why I have the most upstanding respect for Bobby. I have the utmost respect for Shanique, for Everett. You know what I'm saying? Yo, my brother Bakari, you know what I'm saying? But listen, my brother, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. So I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna skip it. This is something kind of different, but it's the same thing. This goes back to the last kind of two topics that we had. They were scared to death on this one, Raw. I'm surprised. And there's a lot of people that's actually here and they're not saying nothing in the chat. Like, that's crazy. As it usually be more people leaving. So I know y'all agree. And this one is kind of long because I'm not even trying to be this long, but it's so much useful information. But only y'all three is saying something, and that means something to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but and besides, like, I can only vouch for like MD2. I will definitely vouch for Casidra. You know what I'm saying? So y'all support Casidra again. Bobby, check out Casidra, my brother. Like, she's dead serious about what she's doing. She's dead serious. Like, I'm not. She's like, I am not talking about nothing compared to what she's talking about because she's doing something, and she don't hesitate to put her face out there. None of that. You know what I'm saying? Not that I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all seen me before. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, Raw. I gotta get your Instagram, Raw, so you could be on that. So that way you have an instant way to contact me if anything. Because, like, you know, but and I wish Bobby could get his mic together so he can come on here because Bobby has more information than me, and I know I went through every year trying to look up everything that I could, and my brother still be telling me stuff I never heard about. But anyway, So let me go with this so we can close out.
By engaging in witchcraft that is still propagating a white supremacist lie that black people in Africa didn't know Jesus.
Okay.
You are not more black by engaging in witchcraft that is still propagating a white supremacist lie that black people in Africa didn't know Jesus. I am angry that the powers that be in social media and in culture and in music and in Beyonce's music and in Kalani's music and in whatever the other, and in Santa, like I'm angry that they are really trying to convince us that all spiritualism is the same.
Wait, that's what you're angry about? And about what's the sister name that got killed by the police? Sandra Bland or Tamir Rice? Or yeah, is Beyonce and Kalani? Because of Jesus? I'm just saying, like, all of these spooked out entities have never came down and helped us. Until they do, they are irrelevant. So miss me with all the spooked out BS. If you ain't doing something, if you do something great and then tell me you was inspired by this entity, then I'll look into that entity. But if you ain't doing a goddamn thing, don't tell me nothing about the entity you following. Because especially if it's something that it's the same one that the KKK them prayed to, because we see who prayers they answered. This goes, and this is the last topic, the spooked out or punked out thing. And like I said, this is not about people's religion, but we have to get past this punked out stuff, bro. Because I don't believe it's all the way spooked out no more. Maybe you're punked out, so punked out that you're spooked out, but spooked out may have opened the door. But what I'm saying is, if your deity is not making you do something to change it, change what's going on, or telling you that friends and all this stuff, then I got a problem with that. I do. If you waiting on somebody to come help you, I got a problem with that. Because no space thing, no galactic thing, no religious thing, no Allah, no Jesus has come and helped us right now. For Allah, it's been 1,800 years. For Jesus, has been, what, 700? I'm sorry. Until they show up and help us, we all we got. And I'm sick of that. You know what I'm saying? You acted into your own demise. It's enough with the damn agents. When we start getting spooked out and not willing to do nothing, and this is not on this sister here. It's not on this sister here, but we don't even take time to recognize our own stuff. Like, yo, I'm not, or spooked out more than because to me, like, from what I understand, voodoo is like the study of nature, you know what I'm saying? And like, yo, it's like alchemy, it's just chemistry. You know what I'm saying? Of course, chemistry is important. They teach you chemistry. Oh yeah, you better learn it. You say alchemy, oh Lord, have mercy. Is this a damn agent, a product of the agents? Because that mindset is one of the biggest things keeping you from doing anything. It's crazy. Ross said, Sister Shanique, comes still lies, still rape and destroy. Yeah. She says, Shanique says she in the church, that's why she's speaking this way. It don't make sense, man. I'm sorry, like, and this is not against nobody religion, although I think we need to put our religion to the side and like work together, because we may not all agree on religion, but we all agree that we need to protect our children. And it's important for our children to have the correct curriculum and to have the correct food in our communities. And we can agree on that, you know what I'm saying? And we don't have to be religious to agree on these certain things. All we have to do is just work on these things we agree with. So it's not about the religion, but okay, I'm sorry.
And we have digested this impurity and this, we want so bad not to be legalistic that we actually become profane. We want so bad to have all these freedoms that we are entertaining demons, and you wonder why you are depressed. And you wonder why you are anxious. And you wonder why you have nightmares. And you wonder why you can't sleep. And you wonder why you see things in your room at night. It's because you're opening up doors to all kinds of demons. Close them. Whatever you got in your home that's witchcraft, throw it away. Throw it away. Burn everything you got. Because we are women who are going to love God with all of our heart and all of our mind and all of our soul. We are not going to imitate the detestable practices of the nations.
So did you guys hear about it? A lot of people have.
So let me play the what the sister had to say in return, because this is another debate about it.
That black people in Africa didn't know Jesus.
My mutual Dono Wright said in his response to this video, and I'm paraphrasing, that the black church requires anti-intellectualism to function. Have you ever wondered why black pastors like Jackie Hill Perry never cite their sources, never present any sort of historical evidence? Because if they teach you too much, they run the risk of you being able to undo their indoctrination. And see, part of being a pastor is your cadence. If you can hoop and holler and speak with conviction, you can convince anybody that you know what the fuck you're talking about. The same way she tried to convince her congregation that Christianity within Africa was widely spread. If that were the case, they wouldn't have needed to torture our ancestors to get them to convert, Jackie. And I found it strange that you said we want so badly to not be legalistic that we'll be profane. How ironic, coming from a woman preaching from the pulpit with pants on. 1 Timothy 2:12, I suffer not a woman to teach nor usurp authority over the man, but be silent. Madam, you're not supposed to be up there. In the same way you don't know who told us we had to be witches to be black, we don't know who told you had to marry a man to pretend that you didn't love women. But every now and then we just want to be extra. Now watch yourself. You're preaching from a glass closet with no doors on it. We can see you. Have you ever?
All right, so y'all see somebody give a response. Shanique said different strokes for different folks. Ross said it's the programming and conditioning of the Caucasoids. And a lot of us is programmed and conditioned. And this is why I'm saying, like, y'all got to stop, like, and this is why I'm talking about black people in general, because I know I make fun of my mom all the time, right? And I'm being real with y'all, right? I'm being dead serious with y'all. I make fun of my mom all the time, saying like, oh, well, you think the white man's ice is colder, but I know that I'm not going to let y'all hurt my mom, even though she has the wrong mindset, you know what I'm saying? Because I know she's not like a agent, but at the same time, she's programmed to think that the white man's ice is colder. And she wouldn't hurt me or anything like that, but she wouldn't necessarily go out of her way to even support a black business. You know what I'm saying? And I know that we have these kind of people in our families. And if I know I don't have that energy for that particular person. So if you have that in your family, so how can you have that? Yo, they beat this mindset into us. And that's why I recognize and I would say, empathy for black people. Although that's why I say in the time of war, I'm not going to ever agree with black people first. I would agree with black people at the same time at best, right? Or at least black people after we deal with them, you know what I'm saying? But I would say if you step in the way, then so be it. And that's anybody, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry to even say that, but that's anybody. But that is what we have to realize, you know what I'm saying? Because there's people in your family that you is going to give a pass to, right? And you probably going to get infiltrated just like everybody else. So what is your plan when you get infiltrated? You know what I'm saying? And to the young infiltrators to be, hopefully, you know what I'm saying, they never will be that, you know what I'm saying? But to the young infiltrators that be, give you the fake to keep you from what's doing what is necessary. Yo, it is only one thing that is necessary. Law is determined by one thing only, right? It's determined by one thing only. If I can back up what the hell I say, that's all it's determined by. That's the difference between a powerful nation and an unpowerful nation. Can I back up what I say? And we not backing up what we say. Even when we say no justice, no peace, we get the least amount of justice and we the most peaceful. So it don't make no sense to me. And we will sell each other out for a heartbeat in a second. All right. So let me play this, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to let this be whatever.
Pass.
I still suffer pains of conscience. The week was dated.
Oh yeah,
Family life.
Did you ever suffer pangs of conscience?
Quite a few times.
This is more so for the young people who may be thinking about being an informant. If you've been beat up in school or a black woman is cheating on you right now and there's going to be an excuse to coon out in the future, listen to what is to become of you in the future. The other brother was an alcoholic, died in Virginia alone, broke, never got a raise, never got recognized, was involved in having one of the people who could have freed you, Malcolm X, killed, or at least was on the scene giving them mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, then infiltrated the Black Panther Party, and you a black man, and you died naked and alone and afraid. So, young people, this is more for you. You know what I'm saying? The people who get it already. I can vouch for Raw. I can vouch for Bobby. I can vouch for like people like Matron. You know what I'm saying? It's only a certain few people who I can vouch for. I can vouch for Cassandra, Erica. You know what I'm saying? Just certain people. MG2. You know what I'm saying? But I can't vouch for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Quite a few times. I still suffer pains of conscience. I suffer from the fact that a lot of people trusted me and I misused that trust. I suffer from the fact that a lot
of people trusted me and I listen to what he said. I suffer from the fact that I betrayed a lot of people who misused the trust. They trusted me. We trust in the people.
I still suffer pains of conscience. I suffer from the fact that a lot of people trusted me and I misused that trust. I suffer from the fact that a lot of information that I gave out was the undoing of certain groups or certain people.
Damn, by the way, Bobby, it was something that you said earlier. I wanted to play to be the ending because this is the end, and I've been trying to think about it the whole time so I could play it at the end. I forgot what I wanted to play. I should have wrote it down. Oh man, I don't know. You said something. It was something about informants, but it's like, so y'all give me some powerful last words while I play this.
I suffer from the fact that I'm on the run constantly. I have no real life to speak of.
You have no family life, really? You have a wife?
No, I have no real life to speak of. I suffer from the fact that I'm on the run constantly. I have no real life to speak of.
You have no family life, really? You have a wife?
No, I don't have a wife. I do have a child. I can't see her that often. I have to stay away from them because once I come around, the Bureau shows up and harassment starts. I have very few close personal friends, no one to really confide in. It's like being on the outside of a glass jar and everything is happening inside the jar, but you're on the outside. You can see it happening, but you can't participate.
Why have you decided to talk to me?
For the simple reason, I think this information should be getting out, should be put out to the public. I think not only black people, but everyone should become aware of what your so-called law enforcement agencies do to so-called enforce the law. Because between you, myself, and the audience, I've seen more felons in law enforcement than I have in prison.
Many would say, well, look, you yourself just got through saying that the DLA was involved in criminal activity. What's wrong with wanting to put them in prison? How would you answer them?
I would answer them this way. First off, we have to understand why they did what they did. But I'm not even gonna go off into that psychological hoo-ha. What I'm gonna say is, when you become just as bad as the people that you go after, then there's nothing gained and a whole lot lost.
You also were active in the infiltration of many cultural groups. Before we go into that step by step, how much research and study did the FBI engage in of Black culture in the late 60s?
A great amount.
Give me an idea.
From the thing is, I can. They have a file on every type of magazine that blacks read. They have a file on the music, dance, theater, actors, comedians, you name it, man.
And they would actually study these different.
Yes. Oh yes, definitely.
What would they do with music?
To understand the people, you have to understand the culture. To infiltrate, you have to understand. You had a lot of so-called white liberals that were infiltrating the so-called black groups, using the information that they had gathered from the studies of blacks.
You mean just to understand the behavior pattern of our people?
Oh yeah, I can. Will Heaton could name out some jams of Miles Davis that I hadn't even heard of. He could name off some books that I hadn't even read pertaining to black culture.
Do you ever see agents actually studying the music of?
Yes. I've seen them going over even video portion of cultural events. The understanding, like when, you have an organization like Leroy Jones' Black House. You remember that? Okay, Leroy Jones's place, which was done on the thing of tribalism. That's where I first heard the word Kintu, Mantu, Huntu, Hintu. These words of the African continuum. I learned that from an agent. He ran it down to me. They make in-depth studies of the personalities of the people they're dealing with too, culturally. It always helps it's the thing of, you can take their culture and use it against them.
How large would you say an extensive collection on our culture would you say the FBI has? Would you rate it as large as a particular library, like the Schomburg Library in Harlem? Or?
I would rate it better. And the fact is that they go into details that we probably would overlook. Will Heaton used to meet me in different places. Will Heaton, that was one of my supervising agents. There is a certain bar in the Los Angeles area where people into black cultural things met, and Will Heaton used to meet me there. And he would go into very long and tiring conversations with some very articulate brothers about culture, African culture and Afro-American culture.
Tell me about some of the cultural organizations that you infiltrated and what you did.
PASLA, Mafunde, Watts Writers Workshop, which they have.
The Watts Writers Workshop?
Yes. Watts Writers Workshop, which was one of the oldest established black writers workshop.
That place was burned down.
Yeah. The Bureau had it burnt down.
How do you know that?
I know because I participated. I did the arson.
You burned down the Watts Writers Workshop?
Yes.
Why did they want it to go?
At the time, funding had been cut to the workshop, had been cut out, but it looked like there was a possibility of a grant being given back to the workshop. And if there was no theater, there would be no grant.
How did you do it?
2 cans of kerosene, Purex bottle, gasoline, and a flare, highway flare.
Why didn't you use more sophisticated stuff?
All right, so listen, man. At the end of the day, listen, we are all we got, and until we realize that, and it's not about changing nobody, it's about not letting this continue on to the next generation. At the most, stop, letting this go down to your children. You know what I'm saying? Stop letting this destroy you and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we have been definitely infiltrated, you know what I'm saying? And we have to realize, it's the mindset that we continue to display that keeps us infiltrated. And that is a mindset that we definitely have to get over. You know what I'm saying? And until we realize that we are all we got, we're going to keep making the same mistakes over and over. You know what I'm saying? Now, I just want to understand, I understand that Black people are, I wouldn't say that we are our biggest threat, you know what I'm saying? But Black people, you know, um, that's, that's what I'm asking y'all. We as a group, you know what I'm saying? We could easily do what we have to do, but it's usually Black people who will be the one that snitch, the one that sell out. I disagree when people say we are our biggest enemy. The system completely itself needs to be destroyed. That is our enemy. We cannot be delusion or think that our enemy is anything else, because that's another part of it. And we will co-sign with so many different parts of it so quickly, it's disgusting. And this is even with the people who is the most quote unquote pro-Black, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I talk about when we have to do what we have to do, we talk about people who are, you know what I'm saying, pro-Black, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even talking about all the other people, but we can be infiltrated and we will sell each other out so quick for $1 and all of that stuff. Is just crazy, you know what I'm saying? Um now I forgot what I was gonna play to end it, you know what I'm saying? Because Bobby said something that made me think of the perfect thing to end it, but I forgot. I should have wrote it down. But since I'm gonna get off of here, I'm gonna let these be the last words. I could have had some better last words, but I really could not think of it. So I guess it was not meant to be. But since I brought up the brother Tupac, I'm gonna let him have the last words. You know what I'm saying?
If I know that in this hotel room they have food every day, and I'm knocking on the door every day to eat, and they open the door, let me see the party, let me see like them throwing salami all over just like throwing food around. But they're telling me there's no food in here. You know what I'm saying? Every day. I'm standing outside trying to sing my way in. You know what I'm saying? We are hungry, please let us in. We are hungry, please let us in. After about a week, that song is going to change to we hungry, we need some food. After 2-3 weeks, it's like, give me the food, breaking out the door. And after a year, then you just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm picking the lock, coming through the door, blasting, you know what I'm saying? It's like you hungry, you reached your level, you don't want any more. We asked 10 years ago. We was asking with the Panthers. We was asking with them, with civil rights movement. We was asking, now those people that were asking, they're all dead and in jail. So now what do you think we're gonna do? Ask? I put my gun up.
Yeah, man. So I gotta say, yo, what do you think we're gonna do, right? We ain't asking nothing. I ain't wearing no shirt that say I'm a man. I'm about to show you what's up, you know what I'm saying? And I got a shots out, and Bobby said, yeah, you watched that interview many times. Yeah, I know y'all have, and anybody who haven't, y'all need to watch that interview, because that's just the mindset. And what do you think happens? They die broken, alone, and of alcoholism and all of that stuff, end up on drugs, because that conscience tell you how pots up, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all listening. I gotta give a shout out to Raw. I told you, Raw, they was not coming on this one. All of y'all got something to say and give me a hard time about not having no smoke about black people, but you sure did run when we talk about that infiltrated mindset. Because y'all know I'm gonna bring it back home to that infiltrated mindset you got. I gave you the opportunity to call me out about my infiltrated mindset if you think I got one, but Raw, they come on any other one, but they won't come on this one because I won't gonna give them a pass. You know what I'm saying? So I'm only shouting out Raw, Bobby, and my sister Shanique. I give Everett a shout out and Cassidra. Y'all support Realm in the Bush and what Cassidra is doing, and a lot of the sister that was on the Brother Koku show the other day with the school that she has. Y'all support that sister too, but I can only vouch for y'all. Bobby, Raw, Shanique. I'm only shouting y'all out and Considera and Erica. The rest of y'all, I don't know, man. Maybe y'all got that infiltrated mentality. What you think, Raw? Because Raw knows the answer. Bobby knows the answer. Shanique knows the answer. And do y'all know the answer, or y'all just here to tell the white man what it was doing? I don't even tell the white man. Yeah, they can only kill you once. Jesus Christ, Lord have mercy. And maybe they they killed us once already, bro. That's the crazy part. Maybe they can kill us multiple times because Lord have mercy. We show is scared. They can only get you once. All right. So live on that. How about that? You know what I'm saying? But you want that time to be when you get pulled over by the police and then we gotta go do a rally, or do you want that time to be for a reason, or you accomplishing something, or because you did something great, or because you solved the issue for black people, for yourself, for your children, for your generations? What do you want that one time to be for? For nothing? Or do you want it to be for something? Because I don't understand why you're scared of anything. All right. But yeah, Raw. That's all I could tell them. But like I said, I appreciate y'all. And it's not, yeah, like Ross says, it's not the body dies, but the spirit lives on. The Black Messiah is Black unity. It's not a person. It's not anything. At the end of the day, we are all we got. And until we're ready to do what we have to do, then we're going to be in the same situation. And from what I can see now, y'all are scared to death. Besides, because Bobby and Raw is the only one that had the courage to say something in this one. And I'm talking about black people. Lord, have mercy. What is the CIA and the FBI doing? They can sure get black people scared. I'll tell you that. But Raw is right. They can only get you once. God damn. They didn't got you, and they didn't got you already. The sky cracked 2,000, 6,700 years ago. We the people that came out. Shanique said, my book says it is given once for man to die, period. Is going to happen anyway. So let it be for your own people. Let it be for something that is valuable for your ancestors, for your lineage. You know what I'm saying? So they say my ancestors did something great. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just get pulled over by the police and be like, please, sir, please, massa, Miss Ann, please don't get me, and then die. You wanted to be standing up on your feet like a real man for something that is worth it. And it's okay to pat people down when they're coming into the Audubon room. All right. Bobby said, keep knowing the sellouts, keep the sellouts close and the unknowing sellouts closer. Yeah, my closing words. Absolutely. Keep the sellouts close and the unknowing sellouts closer. Words to live by. I got to learn how to listen more. I do have to learn how to listen more, but that is facts. Damn, they ain't got no energy. They ain't got that energy, y'all. We got to start questioning them, y'all. But I'm out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. Shouts out to Raw, Shanique, and Bobby. That's the only ones I'm giving shouts out to on this one. And Considera, I'm sorry, and Erica. Them two. And that's it. And definitely Matron. Shouts out to Matron. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. Y'all give a shout out to Matron too. Yo. She is one of the realest ones. Bobby, Shanique, Raw, Erica, Casidra. Shouts out to Realm in the Bush. Y'all are the realest, you know what I'm saying? So y'all support Casidra as much as y'all support me. Trust me, she's doing it. She's really putting the work in, and she's dead serious. So y'all support her in any way you can. Give, like, donate or support her channel. Just listen to her, subscribe to her, all of that. Support Realm in the Bush. Look up people who have businesses who you think could have, like, young Black people be apprentices and get paid for it. Connect them to, you know what I'm saying? Connect them, support her, support each other, support. Let's all support each other. Like my brother Bobby says he's got something. Let's support Bobby. Shanique Raw. If any of them say they have something going on, Erica, let's support each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to do that. Like, and I'm talking about within us, you know what I'm saying? So I'll end it with that. And as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're going to keep falling for anything.